I'm gonna wait some time, because the longer we wait, like the more realistic it'll be, you know, when he comes back to life. The touch of the black man in a woke story. The God hand shining down, shining upon thee. White man as you lay down. Cis white man and couple in background. Understand the power of a black man is a God hand. I breathe life into you. One touch is not enough from greatness. One touch from the black man. Watch me do it again. Kneel and be amazed at the touch of the black man. I bring life. I bring life. That's right! That's right!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for another episode of Saturday Night Hypnosis, episode 89. Oh my God, we're one away from 90. We're one away from 90, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that is insane. Welcome, guys, to the show. I'm so happy to have all of you here tonight hanging out with us as we discuss the absolute lunacy that is happening right now in multiple different industries, mainly the gaming industry right now. But yeah, there's going to be a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. You guys already know we're going to cover Helldivers, Stellarblade, all this nonsense going on. But let's just get into our intros because we got too much to talk about. Started off with Leon from Words of Paradise. Take it away with your blue hair.
Okay, first of all, my hair is black, and I just want to say I'm real happy that General Custer time traveled from from 1886 or whenever the Battle of Bull Run was to come stream with us today. Thank you so much. You probably have no idea. This is an American history reference. I'm probably completely lost on you. Thanks for coming, dude. This is gonna be one hell of a show. We got a lot to talk about. I feel so vindicated because when State of Play came out, months ago and announced Helldivers 2, I was saying game looked like trash and everyone loved it. And if you had loved it, I'm happy for you. But vindication, because now y'all canceling the game. Leon back on top, baby. Let's go.
No,
vindicate
no, not at all. So Sony's stupid decision does not vindicate your bad take. I refuse.
Yeah.
I refuse. Speaking of bad take, whitest Gooch in the world. Take it away.
Yo, what's up, everyone? It's Gooch here. Glad to be here.
I think you got the wrong
on the
microphone attached.
Sound like
it sounds like your webcam mic is on.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can. There you go. You got it. There you go.
What the hell?
Try again.
Well, yeah, it's not the whitest Gooch. First of all, let's not get crazy here. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be with these clowns. It's going to be a good night. It's always a good time on this show. And yeah, let's get this party started. Ryan, what do you think?
Oh, I think
It doesn't matter what you think.
it doesn't matter.
Oh my!
I used to have the rock meme, the "shut up, bitch" rock meme. That would have been perfect, but I don't have it, man. Anyway, Ryan, Roger Adney, take it away.
You just gave me another idea for my soundboard. Thank you.
Oh my!
You're
I have to
welcome.
be a trash now. I have to be a trash and wear a sock on my face. I have to be a trash.
Come on, Ryan, do your intro.
My goodness. You look ridiculous. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and it's great to see you all watching today. It's great to see this great guy who was part of Epic when Epic was Epic. So I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But my name is Ryan Roger Athe. I'm the host and founder of Reality Based, and for some reason, I am here. Thankfully, I am not queer or a queen. I don't know where this rumor came from. And shout out to our special guest, whose name is very, very difficult to pronounce. And shout out to Words as Birdie, the most innocent member of this panel.
Yeah.
Now
Aleksey.
on to Andrei Shevchenko or whatever.
No. It's just the Ukrainian form of Alex, basically. Thank you for having me here. I mean, like, it's good to be here, guys. I mean, like, to make it short, I've been doing video games for 25 years. Bunch of companies, GC Game World, might have known for Kazakhs and Stalker and stuff back in the day. 7 years in Epic in business development. 2 years evangelism, 5 years for business development in Europe. And then just a bunch of consulting. And after 25 years, I just screwed off, like from industrial complex, let's call it this way. I'm just doing cool stuff, creating content, creative projects. And again, being here, I mean, like, again, thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for being here and dedicating the time to hang out with us. I really appreciate it. Atreus, take it away, man.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? I am already drinking. Okay, I'm already drinking.
Good, because you're gonna need it for what's coming next.
RAPE.
And then it was dead air.
Subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys already know I roasted Atreus on Hypnocast, and I love Atreus. I really do. Pause in all manners. But I had Nerd Wars make a clip because me and Atreus are probably like the only ones that are genuinely out there on Twitter just swinging at everybody. I really feel like Atreus is just swinging at everybody, and I can respect that. So I made a training montage with me and Atreus, and I'm glad he's drinking for it because it's about to get real gay up in here. But I wanted to showcase how me and Atreus are getting ready to battle the internet, especially in Gamergate. So enjoy this 20-second clip, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of training out there, ladies and gentlemen. Got to take on the internet, you know. And who says you can't do it with some diversity attached to it?
Let me get my intro back. I wasn't. No, you gonna play that after my intro? Fuck that. Fuck
Very,
that.
very inclusive. I like
Very brave.
But no, guys, y'all already know who I am. My name is Atreus. I cover pop culture and mostly. Apparently, I'm a Gamergate channel now because apparently y'all keep roasting me every time I drop something other than Gamergate. I'm a professional shit talker. We have fun, watch parties Friday nights, Saturday nights. We had a ball last night watching Fallout. That show did not disappoint in the first episode, at least. So, yeah, and also watch X-Men 97. Goddamn it!
And Atreus, let me tell you, the first episode of Fallout is the worst one.
Okay,
that's what they're saying. Coach, take it away, Coach.
89 episodes. It's incredible. I mean, this is another opportunity to kind of remind ourselves how we started, how beautiful this endeavor has been so far, how many incredible guests we had been, and grateful to have Aleksey also on the show, and how diverse we are throughout every show, right? We're having all sorts of people here from all sorts of backgrounds, and sometimes we're roasting them, sometimes we're dissing, sometimes we get lectured by them, and sometimes we just explore the manifold, realms of madness that have been unleashed upon us from the system, from Babylon, from the big eye, from, whatever you want to call it. Nonetheless, we're still here. We're still fighting. We're still having fun. 89 episodes full of talks, full of conversations, full of back and forth arguments, sometimes disagreeing, sometimes agreeing, but nonetheless, still here. The brotherhood of madness, the bigotry is on and alive. Over here at the Coach MC studio, you get acting tips, you get acting strategy, or career tips, you get all sorts of background infos if you want to make it in entertainment industry as a performer, as an entertainer, as a stand-up comedian, as an actor. We have master classes and all sorts of great entertainment throughout the week. Next Tuesday, we're going to have an open class doodles with this mythical guy here from Wales, Ryan Roger Athay, and we're going to cover historical topics. We're going to shed a light into the mysteries of the past. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play Indiana Jones with your mind, and then coming back to our cardboard studios. So definitely, let's stick together. Let's hang out.
Let's speak for Ryan Roger Athay, please. Like I work very hard on my studio. My shit ain't cardboard, all right?
In the end, it's all cardboard. In the end, it's all illusion. What is matter anyway? If it's gold or cardboard, it's just an atom. It's just space with some neutrons and electrons flying around. So
I'm black, Coach. It matters. That thing has got diamonds in it.
So those my curtains, Coach. I mean, Atreus. My curtains are black. Right there.
What is that? It looks like, oh man,
it's cardboard.
I'm pretty sure that's mold, but it's okay.
Let's have all a great time, guys, and thank you so much, Hypnotic, for having me.
Absolutely, Coach. Absolutely. All right, last but not least, Will of the Fans. Take it away, man.
Yeah, hi, I'm Will of the Fans. See what I did there? To some, I'm a reactionary racist bigot. To others, I'm your charming, disarming, articulately outrageous pop culture surgeon. To one or two, I'm the single greatest YouTuber who ever lived, but they're related to me, so it doesn't really count. I used to be one of the most Sony loyal zealots ever, 100% dedicated to the good guys of gaming. They used to market to us, telling us, hey, guys, we get you, gamers. We're never going to come between you and your games. Now they're the company that gaslights us. They want to own the whole industry, sneaking in and changing games and lying to us about it. It's disgusting and disgraceful. So fortunately, the forum is here once again to remind you that you're not crazy. So let's just get straight into it.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to all these guys.
Before we get straight into it, I just want to clarify my comments that I made during my stream about
go ahead.
The debate, whether or not it should be me or Hypno. What I was saying is that the difference between me and Hypno debating somebody like Alyssa Mercante is that Hypno wants to put Shorty in the dirt. Okay, Hypno he wants to bury you. Okay, he wants to destroy you. Me, I want to make the environment comfortable enough for you to hang yourself. That's all I want to do.
You want a better Atreus who rates $50.
You said I want a what?
Better. That's why you want to.
Don't pretend like you would, homie.
You're making a Atreus drink more now.
Bed her, I think.
No, first of all, let's be painfully clear.
Well,
despite the jokes that I made,
a medieval way to say that, yeah.
Despite the jokes that I made, Shorty is batshit crazy. Okay, There's no way. No way.
Nothing a few sound effects won't fix.
He's got you there.
I'm
Anyway,
a particular fan of the Sega one.
Adam Rabil. Fuck you, man. I ain't trying to shoot my shot. I'm trying
The chat knows the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Always.
The chat always knows the truth.
But anyway, finish what you were going to say, Atreus. Sorry.
No, that's all I was trying to say. Somebody brought up the Director X debate, which was a good debate.
That was me. Thank you.
Yeah. Leon brought up the Director X debate, but let's keep it a bean. Hypnotic was on that nigga's neck. That nigga didn't have room to breathe. It was less of a debate and more of a shouting match.
Self-hanging.
Pissing contest, and while he was losing, he was definitely losing because he lost.
It's a contradiction
on that man's neck.
I hated that.
Atreus, we weren't contradicting.
Jeez.
He was contradicting himself.
I put out
he was a contradiction.
No. I wasn't saying that we were I said he was losing because he was contradicting himself. I mean, he was losing. What I'm saying is when it comes to somebody like, because I don't think that Director X is on demon time like Alyssa Mercante. Director X just came in here being emotional. Alyssa is a different animal to where she's coming in here with the intent to use your own words against you to like she did against old boy, the CEO of Farm Folks. Yes. I think if you give her enough ground to hang herself in front, because I'm not trying to change her mind. Her mind cannot be changed. She's a psychopath who's already been indoctrinated by whatever college campus that she attended. What I want to do is present my argument, let her present her argument, and let the people decide who sounds fucking crazy. Is it me or her? And I have
You always sound crazy, but you make sense sometimes. That's the difference. You make sense.
It's our brand. We rely.
She sounds crazy and she doesn't make any sense.
All I'm saying, I make one video. I make one video destroying four gay people in one video. And now all of a sudden I'm the most violent man on the internet. Like, it's crazy.
What?
Crazy.
Yeah.
I can't debate people no more. I'm going for their neck now.
You will absolutely go for that girl's neck. You would split her wig wide open. It would be dead body all over the.
Not at all.
But she's batshit insane. It's one of those things
if it makes you feel any better, bud. Like when
watch when he debates Eric. Watch when he debates Eric. That is going to be.
I'm going to be polite.
But they can't handle being criticized at all. If you criticize them, you're basically telling them they don't exist or don't have a right to exist.
I'm not interested in criticizing them. I'm interested in giving her the floor to let her hang.
Give her the rope. Yeah,
Fandom initiative can go.
That's the best way to do it. 100%. Yeah. Stay calm, stay logical, let them hang themselves. Definitely.
I like the idea of a black man giving a white person a rope. It's kind of like reparations.
Speaking of hanging yourself, because we have a lot we need to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the Helldivers situation because we've been wanting to talk. I've been waiting all week. I've been waiting all week to talk to everybody about this stuff. Okay, so let's just set the stage. All right, set the stage. You guys, most of you guys, you already know what's happening with Helldivers. You've watched all our videos. You get the conversation. You understand. But let's set the stage anyway, because you'll be surprised how many people come.
I am not
what
defending Alyssa Mercante. Stop it, Marco.
I am not. So with the whole Helldivers situation, Sony obviously released Helldivers about 3 months ago, roughly, give or take. And you know that entire time, they did not mandate that you link your Steam account to PlayStation, as they don't mandate with any of their games, by the way, to link your Steam account to PlayStation Network. And then all of a sudden, on May 3rd, I believe it was, they decided to say that, oh, this was always supposed to be mandatory. The grace period has expired, and now you will have to link your account in order to play the game moving forward. And they're going to give people who didn't. They're going to give people, the people who didn't buy the game yet, they have to do it immediately after they buy it. The people who already did buy it have 30 days to do it. Otherwise, they won't be able to play anymore. Obviously, this sent a massive shockwave through the entire internet to the point where in 24 hours, now you guys could chime in after this, in 24 hours, there is over 122,000 negative reviews in Steam in 24 hours. Take it away. Go ahead. Whoever wants to chime in.
I just want to ask everybody on the panel, where were you when you woke up and saw Grums retweet that? Because that's where I found it. Grums retweeted them, and I saw it. I was fresh off of beating some cheeks the previous night, so I need
Of course
to know
you were.
Okay,
where
sure.
you guys were.
Ryan, did that hurt?
I just woke up.
Fuck you,
Had
Will.
my arm around someone. I woke up. She was asleep. I turned over, opened up my phone at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. It might have been a little bit later than that. And I'm like, I
You
rubbed
called?
my eye. I was like, Grums, what the fuck you talking about? Nah,
You know
they
what's
didn't do that.
crazy? I actually have a video of the lady he clapped cheeks. Hold on. I just saw it. I saw it on Twitter.
What's his name?
This is
He's like,
this
"Atreus,
is what
what
he
you
did
doing?"
to her. I told you, you got to watch these snow bunnies, man. Look at what he did. Look at what he did to this girl, bro. Look at this.
Oh no! He's like, "Shut up, baby." Grums is talking.
geez.
What the hell is she doing?
I don't know, but white people are not okay. That's all I want to show. Anyway,
It's a new
Hey,
now.
that's not true.
I'm fine.
I don't want to be trans anymore. Can I identify as a different race instead? I'm tired of being white. Like,
absolutely.
You can hear whatever.
I scrolled through Twitter and that's what I saw. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I
Anyway,
love Twitter, bro. It's where I get all the news, man. That shit is crazy.
I-
Question,
though.
everyone gets the news now. I think that's why so much
question for Alex. Since you were in the industry, I mean, what do you make of all this? Just out of curiosity, like, what is your genuine like feel
Did a
on
bunch
everything?
of things. I have like a lot of things coming out. Like you'd be asking, like when I saw this happening, it's just like if you've been inside the situations, you know immediately what's going on. And it typically means that there is a shit show behind the curtain. It means that someone haven't wrote the right email to someone dropped the ball in the marketing messaging, someone doing a great job, community managers being not fucking informed, about all of this hassle. It's like nobody knows nothing, like no one's responsible for nothing, some committee decision somewhere. And then it just starts to gain the critical mass of momentum of fucking madness, and very quickly goes out of control. And I think that from my point of view, it really reminds me in some sense situation with Unity, if you remember that, about the change of conditions and stuff. Like internal industrial jokes being kind of like, did they hire a Unity director or something? Like what the fuck's going on? Because it was managed so badly from the marketing point of view and from the communication with the community. And situation with the community managers starts to get baffling at this point. I just don't understand why people who are supposed to understand that they are there at a not very high level role, but specifically to provide communication and to be of service to the customer, all of a sudden decide that they can feed customers with dicks basically on the Twitter. I mean, it's just very unprofessional. It's like my analogy is that you go to the groceries, you go into the store, and immediately the person who sells shit, they're like, "Oh fuck, this guy again," you're like, "What?" What's going on?
Yeah.
You just get dissed for nothing, by this person. I mean, and that was completely unprofessional. The way it was dealt by the community management, mind you, again, a person who has only 3 things that they're supposed to do, basically, not very complex, right? First of all, you organize the dialogue in between developer and the community.
Joe Biden.
Second one, mitigation of a conflict.
Create
Third one,
context.
you basically you're a glue for all of the shit's going on, and you're dealing with the tickets where customers complaining, are not satisfied. Outside of those 4 things, leave all your personal shit at home. Just.
I mean, that's the core problem of everything in every medium. Leave your personal shit at home. It used to be called professionalism. It doesn't exist anymore.
Right? It's a joke.
Right.
Well, that's why I made this meme. I made this meme for that specific community manager. Because
that was
this community manager Spitz. This is the one that just flat out
which
was like,
ironically enough was the lube that was used for this photo with some spits. So we went in real rough. Like
This is lube.
so this one I was kind of like, talking to Corrosion when I saw this one on the feed, like a Hypnotic not holding his breath, he's like, "Oh, you like him? He's cool." I'm like, "Yeah, I see."
You know what I find interesting? I find it interesting that Sony would force them. Like, if you're Sony, you're supposed to be the one to send this fucking message out. Why would you make the developer?
Because it's safe. No, dude, I can comment on that. I can tell you that every publisher marketing department try to put developer at the front end because they know that the gamers like developers more than publishers in general.
That's fucked up.
It's what they do.
Throws them under the bus so the publisher doesn't have to take the blame.
Because in my mind, if I invested, now to be fair, Sony doesn't own this developer, right?
Kind of not, but if you
Well, usually
I'm thinking from my point of view. From my point of view, if I own the developer and I own this IP, I don't want this brand damaged. So if I know I'm going to put out a message like this, I want to put Sony or PlayStation's name on it so that we can take the brunt of the blow. I'm PlayStation. What you niggas gonna do? You gonna sell your PlayStation? Fuck out of here, no.
Yeah, but those people don't associate themselves with the brand that much, and what you're saying is how it should be, right? In an ideal world, but like in the reality, in the real world, there is this middle level manager who's making decision about this specific press release, and it's either they can take hit and responsibility for it, or they can throw it at the developer, and therefore mitigate potential risk of backlash in the corporate hierarchy, right? You know,
Right.
I love having you here for clearing that up.
But speaking of clearing things up, I actually got a question for you, Alex, that also you might relate to this. So someone in one of my comments said that the reason Sony is doing this is that they will actually look better for their if they can force all these Steam users to sign up for PSN, it looks better for Sony's shareholders, and it's purely a financial move that there is to look good on paper. Is that something that you've seen in the industry? Is that normal?
It's a collateral plus. I mean, like everyone trying to increase the number of audiences and stuff. But it's the problem is that by this move, Sony creates a lot of moot accounts. It's basically people who just went out registered to play the Helldivers and other games. They don't own the console. They're not gonna use it. But on reporting, it's gonna be plus million accounts basically. It means someone's getting the promotion, someone's getting the bonus. It looks better. And they need to make it look better because, like we need to keep in mind that Sony's earning call report is basically 15th of May. It's in about a week. And most probably because it's happening everywhere because of the macroeconomic situation, people stop buying hardware. People stop buying consoles. Microsoft recently reported minus 30% on the hardware. It means that they most probably would not meet their hardware goals, and they need to compensate it with something. Because otherwise the heads would roll. You know, like it's so people need to cover their asses.
It goes down the ladder, basically.
It's like Disney having like sock puppet accounts on Disney Plus just for 1 month subscriptions to watch one event or something like that.
But the worst part of this is it's a self-sustaining system. It's a circle jerking, basically. You know, like is that where people produce data, put this data on report, show it to shareholders. Everyone knows it's bullshit, but everyone makes a visage, you know, like of a good play. And everyone like are making up, you know, like their opinion that this is like fine, but in reality, these are not paying users, you know, like everyone understands that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned hardware. Hardware is not selling, which is at least for Microsoft and Sony is absolutely. I think Nintendo still kills it in hardware sales, but why is that the case? Like it's very obvious it's not selling, but why?
It's selling worse. I mean, like it's just what people are missing is that economy is in shit basically. Like everything is more expensive. Like it's like if you will go for groceries and for the to a pop for a beer, like if you're smoking, I'm quitting smoking. Cigarettes are too fucking expensive. You know, like cigarettes are 18 pounds in England now. You know, like 17. Basically.
Oh my god, how bad it is now.
Yes,
like,
taxation is a bitch. I'll just say that. And yes,
I mean, like
about $4 a
I'm
week.
gonna start trapping. I'm buying all my cigarettes over here in America.
I mean, like, so what's going on is that people, because the rent is more expensive, everything's more expensive, right? You know, like, and what's going on is that at a time of financial anomaly, when everyone had like much more of a disposable income, people were buying more shit, and corporate people were like, all right, we can sell them whatever we show them, basically. And now, because like situation got a bit more harsh, people are starting to calculate money. And people are like opening their wallets. They're looking like, and they choose how to spend those dollars basically. And customers getting smarter because you have less purchasing capability, you know, like in general. And companies know that. And hardware is a massive purchase. Is like consoles, like what, like $400, $500, $600, right? You know, like it's not like you just go and buy it for a lot of people. And that's why hardware just goes down, you know, like at this point. And this is the reason why these big companies go for the cross-platform sales, is they need to compensate somehow on the for losses in the hardware. And
that makes sense.
This is a lot of a reason, you know, like why a lot of this hectic and panic moves are going on. Basically, is, you know, this meme about the Starship Troopers, like it's afraid, you know,
Yeah.
corporate is afraid at this point. because like money lost a lot of faith into gaming in general. The sentiment about games being invincible because of COVID is gone. No one believes that shit anymore.
Well, 100%.
Well, you also got to.
Everyone are asking for profit, not revenue, and this is a very, very bad question for a lot of people.
Well,
it's
now
like, oh, revenue is fine. Where's profit?
Now you have the issue that this is a double whammy, though. You know, first they got the Stellarblade backlash, which was large. Don't get me wrong; it's still going. I mean, it's I think it passed 75,000 signatures. But I got to tell you, man, this Helldivers situation is something totally different. Yeah. It's a whole nother animal. And I'll show you. I wanted to bring this up really quick. So that community manager we were talking about before, that I made the meme of, that goes by the name Spitz for whatever fucking reason. This this person thought it was a good. Yeah, I don't know. This person thought it was a great idea to basically start, doing what every community manager does, right? So the moment you start getting backlash in Discord, what do? They start banning people. They start being trolls to an extent, to people. They're like, well, I thought you were leaving. That's what that person said. This person said to someone, well, I thought you were refunding and leaving. So what are you waiting for? So they started off doing that, started to put their chest out there, and then are now trying to apparently do a complete 180. So let me pull up this comment that they said. Apparently they're trying to pretend like they're on the gamer side now, which I thought was pretty interesting. And keep in mind, this community manager, just like all of them, they, in my opinion anyway, you can correct me, maybe, Alec, you have experience, but in my opinion, I don't really think they get hired much on merit these days. This particular person openly admits, said, where is it at? Okay, here we go. It says, yeah, I was completely unaware of how many countries didn't have the ability to make a PlayStation Network account when I made that initial statement. I deeply regret implying that it was so easy for everyone to just sign up and not to have to worry about it. It's absolutely not our intention to force people to break Sony terms of service or just not play the game if they're in a restricted region. There needs to be a better solution. And then they said players can making their displeasure known through reviews, refunds, etc., gives us more pull in the discussions with Sony. They don't read our Discord. It hurts to see the game's popularity suffer in ratings, but discussions are ongoing, and our team is on the side of the players in this fight. It's unrealistic to expect people to make PSN accounts in different regions to get past the account linking requirement. We're aware of that. Discussions are ongoing. So now the person
does not address the heart of the problem at all, because the heart of the problem should be, well, what about in the fucking countries that do have PSN? It's still going to be a requirement. Honestly, I'm going to fuck about these countries that don't have PSN. What the fuck are they doing mandating it in countries that do have it? That's the problem.
I have an opinion on that, but Atreus, go ahead. Let Atreus go.
I believe it, because like you just said, community managers aren't hired based on merit or anything like that or anything. They're a bunch of fucking morons who are hired to just
they don't know shit.
They're like video game cheerleaders, are they not? So it doesn't shock me that this person wouldn't have known that, hadn't considered that. I believe them when they say they were ignorant to, those other countries. I also think
just to clarify, I do too, by the way, Atreus.
I live in one of those countries. Just so you know.
I thought about, what? When somebody brought that up, the first person I thought about was Will, when they said that, because I don't you play Helldivers, Will?
No, I never did, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna, in my mind, just for my narrative, shut up, Will. I'm gonna say that Will actually plays Helldivers because it doesn't support my narrative. If you don't actually play Helldivers, argument.
I was gonna, but now I'm not.
But yeah, though, I think I actually believe her though. So or him or whatever it is.
I don't know what it is, honestly. But just to clarify, Atreus, I do too. Like when I say I don't believe them, I mean the last part, like being on the side of the players. I don't believe that. I do believe that they had no fucking idea what they were talking about. They just wanted to lash out at everybody initially. And then when people brought the criticism, they kind of had to take a step back and just take the L in the face. You know what I mean? That's where that came from.
Typical reaction when you don't know a shit, your reaction is to project confidence, right? Because you don't have facts. And no one tell you fucking facts because no one's really concerned about you in organization. Being a CM in a company is basically the same thing as being a QA in production. It's like the same thing, it's like you're at the bottom of the hierarchy. I mean, you're like, chat is right, someone just mentioned that it's basically glorified Discord moderators on the salary, and the issue here is that companies and community manager is supposed to be an interface in between the company and the community, a kind of important role, and companies do not recognize it. Like they don't get out competitive salaries, they don't hire like professionals, like for this job in a lot of cases, and this is the result of it. I can guarantee you that this guy didn't knew a shit about the consequences of those potential actions. No one told him. He was not curious enough to ask.
Right.
So
Leon, go ahead.
This picture right here is fucking amazing when it comes to culture war nonsense, because if you look at that middle bar where you see that bunch of negative reviews, like it's directly in the middle. That was when that community manager Spitz came out like a month or so ago and was talking about like pronouns and bios and how inclusive they want to make the game. And you saw a bunch of culture war folks like us be like, man, get the fuck out of here with this retarded shit. And there was a spike of negative reviews. Now look at what happens when you come do some negativity that is not related to culture war shenanigans at all. This is all rallying cry. I don't give a shit if you're woke, anti-woke, whatever. This united everybody. And it goes to show how much more important that sort of thing is than 90% of what we talk about when it comes to the political aspect of it, because this is affecting everyday normies. And that's when you look at the graph like this, it's amazing to see the difference.
This is like the Pokemon Go version of Helldivers. Like, I'm just being real with you.
I'm not completely disagree.
Yeah,
I believe that a strong part of this is the way this message being put out at the market, because you cannot daily go and talk to people playing and LARPing this whole Earth thing, and talking to them like they're a part of the team, and then you're like taking this update and you pushing at people basically like a next general update on the game. And you expect them to follow all of that shit to their damage as a customers. And a lot of people, they just got offended because like the way this news been translated, it's been a mandatory post factum, you would do whatever we tell you. And no one likes it. No one likes to be talked, like down basically. And no one likes to feel like a cattle, excuse me, who's been told to go and do whatever been told without any conversation. I think it's been a big part of the issue. I think they could handle it much better. They could have a dialogue. They could have a better setup for it. I mean, like they could have a poll or whatever. For fuck's sake, they could make it in a situation where they would give 2 skins, another weapon, whatever incentivization.
Provide incentive.
Yes, it's incentive to just go and do that. And that was just like, oh no, just go
Positive
and do that.
reinforcement.
Like that was just done very disgracefully and very non-professionally, in my opinion.
It sounded like a threat, did it not?
Yeah.
It's like they're like, yeah, you have until May 30th to get your shit together, or we taking it away. It's like, what? Who are you talking to?
I think that's Sony's strategy, though, to pull in PC gamers onto their platform, because Sony realized with the PlayStation they're the last console standing. Xbox is transitioning to digital. The Nintendo hasn't released a normal console since the fucking GameCube. Let's face it, folks. The Wii was not a normal console, and neither was
okay, but you gotta get your facts straight. Normal console and is the second highest selling console of all time, just because it had motion control. It's not a normal console.
What are you talking about, Ryan?
I'm a big Sega fan. I don't like Nintendo.
Obviously, we didn't want a normal console from Nintendo. It sounded crazy when they announced it, but when the Switch hit the market, everybody wanted one. I remember working for Comcast and seeing customers with a Nintendo Switch, jealous as fuck, pondering, walking out of there with it.
Yeah, I got a Switch.
I'm sorry I hit a nerve with the Nintendo fanboys.
No. The only problem with the Switch was the fact that there was just too much shovelware on it. That's the problem. There was nothing wrong with the actual console.
The thing about Nintendo is Nintendo doesn't really need industry at all. Nintendo is almost like an extra industrial entity. They can just put on their own fucking weird consoles as they are, and they can just keep on selling games of their existing franchises like Mario and Donkey Kong and whatever. And everyone will watch
Let Ryan finish his point. Hold on,
in
time out.
regards to this situation, it's a means of getting PC users to use PlayStation systems through the PlayStation Network, because they realize they're bleeding out. the point I was trying to make before, when it was PlayStation versus Xbox during the console war, Xbox fucked off with their Game Pass machines, and it's just PlayStation with their exclusives. Cassie would tell this far better than I would. And this is a way for them to bait and switch PC people, gamers are people, to use the PlayStation platform. So I think this is going to happen with future projects that PlayStation do, and no wonder they've been releasing some of their former exclusive games onto PC, because they might just bait and switch again.
To be clear, that's not the problem though.
ahead.
If you give me the option to agree with it in the beginning, when you offer that, when you say, hey, listen, this game just came out today, you're gonna have to make a PlayStation account if you want to. Okay, I have the option to do that. When you allow me to play it for 3 months, no problem, and then tell me that a game I paid, I don't want to say full price for it, it was reasonably priced. Then tell me I can't play it no more after 3 months because you want to make me submit to PlayStation. That's not happening. But go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. I mean, I just wanted to say that in business terms for Sony, this whole operation is basically an attempt to farm PC accounts for the 30% of deduction at the Steam sold copies for the potential of future conversions to the PlayStation platform.
Right, yeah.
That's just what it is. Like, and trust me, it's calculated. There are some projections. Like, and that's basically, again, it's an attempt to get into the new audiences. And to be honest, it's much smarter to go into PC audiences, because if some of those people would convert, they would actually pay, because PC gamers pay money in comparisons with new audiences at the diversity and inclusion who don't. And those are the hard. So and Xbox is doing pretty much the same with the exclusives, and they're doing all of that in between each other, trying to cross-populate the audiences and to increase the reports, because they need to impress shareholders again and the boardrooms and the investors.
And what a lot of people aren't talking about is in the UK too. Do you guys know in the UK you got to do either a face scan or a government ID?
Oh yeah,
in order for you to sign up for PlayStation Network. I mean,
I heard that.
Weird regulations. We do.
It's crazy.
I have not played a PlayStation product since 2017, so that went over my massive head.
PlayStation games.
I'm not surprised.
I'm playing Xbox mostly on the PC. At this point.
Yeah. It's a wild thing, and apparently, I mean, I don't know. Apparently, first of all, there's multiple community managers. I didn't realize that till like 10 minutes ago. There's multiple community managers. The one that Leon, it wasn't Spitz that said that initial like LGBT.
They've got three community managers. I thought it was Spitz, but it was a couple.
Yeah, no, I didn't know either. I thought they were all one because they all sound the same. But no, there's multiple, and they're all fucking psychopaths, which is even funnier. This entire situation is interesting for the simple fact that it has united the internet, and I'm trying to find the picture about the terms of service, because this is my biggest issue with this thing. Atreus was saying, had you informed me prior, I probably would have thought twice, and for my own personal take, listen, I have a separate PlayStation account. I've said that, and I absolutely refuse to link my PSN to my Steam. There's a reason why they're separate to begin with. The information that's on the PlayStation account, I'm willing to risk. The stuff that's on my Steam account, I am not willing to risk, and PlayStation Network
in the last decade or something, haven't they?
More than that, PlayStation Network is awful. It's awful. If I can avoid using it, I will. That's why there are certain games that I will buy on PC if they're available on PC versus actual PlayStation. They might be PlayStation games, but if you're putting it on PC, I'm gonna use it on PC if I can. Now, the thing is, the biggest issue is that here we go. I got it right here. Perfect. So before May 3rd, and this is the big problem for a lot of people, before May 3rd, they had in their terms of service, it says that, and this is what I remember seeing, that signing into PSN is optional when playing a PlayStation game on PC. They've had this for all their games, okay? It was never mandated. It has never been mandated. They do not let them gaslight you and tell you that it was mandated, because it's bullshit. And it's bullshit, because if it wasn't if it wasn't bullshit, they would not have had to change this after May 3rd, which is the day they announced what they were doing. And then after the announcement, after May 3rd, they changed that exact same spot to say some PlayStation games may require you to sign in and link to the account for PSN. All right. So they for some reason don't understand how the internet works. I mean, these people genuinely think that gamers are stupid. I don't know why. And that we're not going to figure this out, as if we haven't figured this out so many times with so many different companies. I mean, it is a blatant idiocy that I think runs rampant, and a genuine disconnect between developers, publishers, gamers, whatever. That unfortunately for them, community managers are supposed to fill. I feel like community managers are supposed to be that link between gamers and developers, and unfortunately they're too busy being activists to actually genuinely make a link there. So that kind of ruins any chance the developer may have to get genuine good feedback. Because like I said before, and then you guys can chime in, the community manager, I forgot the name of the one who said the initial stuff with Helldivers. She was like, "Oh, the game has always been woke." I forgot who said that, but she openly admitted that she filters content. Like she filters basically feedback, whatever feedback she gets from the gamers, whatever she deems as bigoted, phobic, whatever, she filters it out and only gives the developers what she wants to give them. So they're getting a skewed version of the actual discourse, because a lot of these developers don't have time to be on Twitter or on whatever, they can't see what's happening too often.
A lot of people have been asking this question: why does the echo chambers exist? This is your answer. Because there is a lot of other people who filter and reinterpret the data that comes out externally and put it in a format which can be sold conveniently internally in these companies. I'm telling you, a lot of the founders, and this is by experience, they don't ever hear whatever we're discussing and telling, because there is an army of people, and it would go to community managers, then it would go to the marketing manager, and then that would go to the PR manager, and then to VP manager and SVP manager, and then to director of publishing. And after that, this guy would go and talk to the person who takes actual decisions about like serious stuff. And after this 7 people, it would be something so much sterilized that would sound like it always boss, like it's all great, a couple of things completely under control. We have, like everyone's super happy.
Well, this is concerning, because Ghost of Tsushima comes out later this month for PC. So now I'm like probably not even going to bother, because it's going to go through Steam. And like just looking at the stock, Sony is it is dying. Like literally it's on life support right now, because it's significantly dropped like over like $11 to $12 in the last month or so. Yeah,
well, think about what's been happening for the last month.
Well, yeah. So like now, if Ghosts come out and this is happening, people are gonna like.
It's a great game too.
Oh, I love Ghost, and
I love this comment.
I was so pumped to play it on PC. Now I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother now with all this shit going on. So they're shooting themselves in the foot for anything that they're gonna put out in the future, which makes no sense.
To be fair, Ghost is a single player game.
Taking arrowhead to the knee.
That's what I was going to say. How is this change going to affect single player games? Are you going to have to link your account to play a single player game? Because that would be fucking asinine.
No,
I thought there was going to be an online version for Ghost with the PC, like a multiplayer.
But it still begs the question about single player though. Like, are you going to have to link the account?
Yeah.
Probably. Most likely.
What if we get another Helldivers situation where they say you don't have to sign in, it's optional, and then 3 months later, when everyone's bought into it,
hey, Ryan, hold on, Ryan. They're covered now though, because look at the wordage. The wordage is very important on the second line. It says some PlayStation games, some, not all, not none, some. So anything could at any point fall within that sum if they so choose. The wording is specific here for a reason.
That's code for their big, huge, heavy hitter games.
The issue here is that I feel like this is a very important part of the conversation, because I think that what's broken is trust. And like every time, like you would think about buying a real live ops game, you would be like, I'm not sure at all. Because like if company allows itself to retroactively go back into something that have been written and change it for the convenience of the current situation to promote its own personal self-interest in this specific point, you don't feel like you can trust them. You know, like, and that's an issue. And that will go for every next new product. You know, like you would be like, well, if I will buy it, I'm not sure, you know, like what will happen tomorrow, right? I mean, like these people used to be candid before with us. It used to be great. But now we had like, what, 2-3 situations in a row where people are just behaving the way that they don't respect the customer, and they can alter the deal at any time, basically.
Yeah. And you know what's even crazier? This game went from everybody was streaming this game. I mean, like this game went from the player's choice, you know, like, and think about what was happening at the time, right? Set the stage. So Helldivers came out around the time of what? Sweet Baby Inc. drama, Sushi Squad failing miserably, fucking over. Like this game came out around the time where there was so much drama and talk about games just not giving players what they want. Then a game comes out and gives players exactly what they want. It's a simple game. There's no complexity to it. It's simple. You get 4 people together, you go kill some bugs at the time, and you have a good time. That's it. There was nothing to it other than that. And everybody was talking about it. It spread like wildfire. It was one of the top selling games. It had one of the biggest concurrent player bases right now on Steam. And then to put it
even further perspective for people in the chat and whatnot, what was the biggest game last year that everyone was talking about?
Hogwarts Legacy.
No, well, okay. Fuck Hogwarts Legacy. That's gay shit. Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 swept the gaming world. Helldivers 2 is only 2 million copies sold away from matching Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2 is literally nipping at Baldur's Gate 3's fucking heels.
But Helldivers 3 has a very vocal community because of the specifics of the game. And this is why everyone talks about this game. Yep. It's like the whole reason is that the game design is structured in a way to amplify the voice of the community and center it with a very harsh focus to the one point. We're talking about like hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people who've been told by community management and the game designers in the game to go and attack this specific planet, and they do. And ironically, what happens is that when the Sony drops the ball, all of these people have been trained to organize together to go and do the fucking batch reviews at this point, and they go and do that because they've been trained that. You know, very vocal community. I mean, like, and it's one of the wrongest community to actually have the beef with, because like they're well organized. They have a lot of time in their hands. They all talk together a lot, and they are unhappy. Like 2 communities that no one should have really have an issue with. It's just a very wrong choices. It's a Helldivers 2 and it's a Game Workshop's one, the Warhammer 40,000 as well. I mean, like those guys are.
I would throw Monster Hunter in there as well. I would throw the Monster Hunter community is one of the most welcoming communities I've ever seen. Like, these are people that literally go in to help you really to show off all of the shit that they got. But the Monster Hunter community is like amazing. Like, I didn't know what it meant to be part of a gaming community. And like, I didn't go on Reddit and start joining groups of games that I was playing until I played Monster Hunter, where people like are excited to come in and help you because they want to show off how much better than you they are. But that's not the point.
Yeah, that's gaming.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen anywhere.
Look at this. Look. You want me to trust my Steam account? You want me to trust my Steam account?
Every year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to show you.
You have got to
do you see in the chat that that weird foreign language is popping in?
Yes.
So that's Thai, and I just Googled what that meant. I did Google Translate, and it says, in the end, the problem comes from corrupt people wanting to monopolize profits. We got people that don't speak fucking English coming in here speaking fucking Taiwanese, agreeing with us about this dumbass shit. Like, this is a global worldwide issue that people are talking about.
You know, Thai.
Now that's diversity, not that bullshit that's been told to us. Like, this is diversity.
Absolutely. But yeah, look at this, and then I got to catch up on super chats. I'm way behind. We got April 2011, hackers access personal data of 77 million Sony PlayStation Network users. May of 2011, personal details on 25 million Sony online entertainment customers stolen. June of 2011, Sony Pictures website hacked, exposing 1 million accounts. November 2014, hackers steal 100 fucking terabytes of data from Sony Pictures. And then August 2017, hacker group accesses Sony social media accounts. September 2023, Sony investigates attack and then basically admits attack. in October of 2023. Yeah, you want me to trust my 20-year Steam account with these motherfuckers? Absolutely not. I'm just not doing it.
And the 2011 ones were so bad.
You can
they had
call
to
me a
start giving
fucking
free games.
PC elitist. I don't give a fuck. I am not trusting my Steam account with these fucking psychopaths. I'm not. And there's stuff on here that's not even listed. I refuse. I fucking refuse.
It's normal. I mean, I think that the in general customer becomes smarter. I mean, like, and we educate ourselves. In general, gamers are, due to the different circumstances, and it really baffles corporations, because it used to be a completely different type of attitude. Gamers were like much more scattered, you know, like everyone was
Passive.
doing their own shit, very passive. Like now, every time shit happens, you just literally see this like Zerg rush coming out of fucking nowhere, you know, like, and people just do stuff to protect the right, or at least to insist on the conversation. And to be honest, I'm liking what I'm seeing. You know, like,
gamers are amazing. The gamers are going to be the ones who deal the heaviest blows to this whole industrial wokening of everything, or whatever you want to call it. Because
gaming is the biggest industry in the world, or entertainment industry in the world.
Yeah, but not just that. We're not idiots. We're not like just normies. We're not movie fans. We're people who've been getting actively involved in an industry that we love. For decades, and that
the biggest in the world. That means you have the most numbers. There's strength in numbers.
That industry, literally, the thing that we engage with in the industry, the product, is not just like sitting passively watching something. There are challenges you have to defeat with your brain power and your reflexes. And most of the time, the stories in single player games are very much libertarian, overthrow the higher, like the evil government kind of plot line. So we're already slightly rebellious, very lib-minded, and intelligent enough to beat the challenges they throw at us. We're gonna notice this because we're also the first people who went on the internet and met each other. You can't compare us to movie fans or TV fans or any other fans, because we're not.
That's an esoteric, like, emotional way of looking at it. That's what you're saying is true. What you're saying is 100% true. But like logistically, it's also a strength in numbers thing. When you are the biggest entertainment industry in the world, there are more of you than anyone else. So of course we're going to be able to do the biggest war. We've got more numbers.
It's also a base of knowledge. I mean, like, one of the observations is that people who consistently playing video games for like 20, 30 years, when they get together, they instantly click and can talk for 8 hours or whatever, you know, like talking about all the games we played, which are thousands at this point, you know, like, and
a lot of us be lying about what we play.
Being a nerd.
A lot of us be lying about what we play. When we in our community, we act like we don't play certain shit. But when we get around actual gamers, I played that motherfucking Peppa Pig game.
Easy plat.
I'll tell you all about Neopet's Darkest Fairy on the PlayStation 2. Like
I told Hypnotic, yes, nigga, I played Viva Pinata, and anybody who looked
you are not gonna play a farm game. I'm sorry. I don't. Let me see you on again. Let me see you play a farm game. I want to see you play. He's only gonna play a farm game to spite me now. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah,
it was hilarious to watch it. Really, I mean, like, from all of the aspects, like a lot of this, you know, like hardened internet conversational shock troopers, you know, like just like jaded cops, you know, like just quickly finishing a cigarette and being like just looking at the game journalist like, I wanted to play this fucking farm game, you kid, you know, like, or like, no, you're not, you know, like, you're just picking the fight for the sake of the fight, and we did, you know, like, but the whole situation was ugly, you know, like, because like the level of an attempt to insert that level of manipulation for the own interest from the game journalists onto those young and relatively fresh developers on Twitter. It was like literally like standing there and seeing like someone trying to scam someone for money on the street, you know, like, and a lot of people just jumped into the situation being kind of like, you cannot do that, you know, like, just not cool. Yeah. Game journalists, I mean, like fuck are those people are doing at this point? I just don't understand it. You know, like, I think that industry changed so much that the relevance is so low at this point. You know, like, it's
I think you also brought up the matter of trust, right? I think you're saying trust. That's a big deal, you know, especially when people already don't like Sony, right? People don't like Sony, and they were just looking. It just happened to be that Sony was the one that owns and published this really good game that just went crazy on PC. Like, this game went wild on PC. But you're right. Like, the moment you fuck around and find out with PC players, because I'll be real with you, like what Will was saying, gamers, they don't put up with this shit. I don't agree with that fully. I think that gamers absolutely put up with nonsense. The only difference is that there's most of them are console gamers. So I'm just being real with you.
For sure, PC gamers.
I'm sorry for it. I'm sorry for you console gamers, but you absolutely put up with way more shit.
No.
He's right, man. I was a console kid.
PC players do not put up with that nonsense.
You fuckers spent $3,000 on a goddamn computer and want to tell me about what we put up with?
Yeah, but that's why
we're not gonna put up with lag. We're not gonna put up with anything less than 60 frames. We're not gonna put up with
exactly. They have already highest standards. That's why they're willing to pay more money.
Man. Yeah. Console gamers, absolutely not everybody. For all you people in the chat, be like, "Oh, I'm a console gamer." No, I'm not saying everybody, but console gamers on average put up with more shit than PC gamers do. PC gamers, whenever there's drama happening, it's usually coming from the PC gamer side normally, and in this situation. It is like PC gamers.
No reason to disagree.
Who do you think is fighting this? It ain't console gamers fighting this. Nah. It's fucking.
Put up with shit.
The problem. Hypnotic.
Look at all the dickheads who ran out and bought Xbox Ones.
No, because like every console is a monopolist of the counter they sell shit. And PC is basically the place where you can choose the platform you're buying stuff. And even if you don't want to buy stuff from anywhere, you can play emulators and you're like whatever you want to do, right? I mean, and if you buy any console, it's like the same as an app store situation, basically. Like if for some reason, like you piss them off and cross them off very, very badly, they would find the reason to cut you out.
Oh, yeah. And also,
and they own the store and there are no alternatives. If you have an Xbox, if you don't have an access to Xbox store, and if you own the Sony, if you don't have an access to the PlayStation store, it's just it's garbage. It's a piece of iron. It's nothing, and it's different.
Just so people understand the hierarchy of who puts up with shit and who doesn't. It goes mobile gamer top, right? Who puts up with the most shit. Then it goes console, and then it goes PC. That's not to say that in those three, there's not fighters in there. I'm just saying mobile gamers, man, they bend over. All right, they take everything. That's very. They're like, oh, I need to pay $100 to make this little tower that's going to take 14 days to build in 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. That's great. That sounds like fantastic gameplay. And then
it's not wrong. I mean, like I just said, I mean, in 2013 or whatever, when the Xbox One launched, they launched off of basically telling you can't own your games. There's going to be 24-hour DRM. You need to sign in online once a day, and a bunch of people still went and bought that fucking brick.
Hey, fuck you, Will.
I told you I was a Sony guy, man. I told you.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
The other thing, I mean, but the Game Pass is a thing, isn't it? And what I found to be interesting is it's not a lot of people really understand how the Game Pass has so much benefit for so not much money before they buy an actual Xbox. And then you buy it and you pay this like $1 whatever a month, and you're like 300 games. You're like shit, it's people have been asking like, what's killing industry from the point of view of sales? Game Pass fucking killing industry
absolutely
from the point of view of sales.
Well, let's also be very clear. Just because certain gamers put up with more shit than other, at the end of the day, bro, the companies are fucking everybody. I just want to be very clear. Companies are fucking everybody. So I may joke and laugh, and all that. Yeah, of course. They deserve it. Fucking assholes. And
this is how it works.
Because all we think about are the games that we actually play. But when you think about the amount of fucking colossal flop, I mean, like WB is over there getting fucked right now. Like after what they just did with Suicide Squad, and there's 13 people playing that game.
Like it's just miserable.
It's bad. Let me guys
bring up Suicide Squad. That's the amazing thing about gamers, because you know what? I don't know if this is accurate, but what I read online was that 70% of Helldivers 2 player base were playing on Steam from a PC. So we could see if gamers actually want to band together and say "fuck you, Sony," we could turn Helldivers 2 into the next Suicide Squad overnight.
Yeah, look, but
now that game's too fun, dog.
No, I mean, hypothetically, we're talking
that game turned me into a hypocrite. As soon as I got finished making a video trashing that fucking Sony and all that, I uploaded it and I said, I'm about to play Helldivers.
You were playing Helldivers during this stream on multiple occasions.
Yeah, for weeks.
It's like every business is like this, right? Like it's like power and opposition in some sense. Like every business literally wants customer to be completely content and silent with the cheapest low quality product that they can produce for the highest price. Like that's the world of the dream for everyone. The problem is that it's a dialogue. I mean, like if customer at some point starts to oppose it and basically demand more rights and better service, then the company has to go and provide this better service. Otherwise, customer goes to somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just simple basics, right? It's like supply and demand shit. And if you do not insist on having the better service, you'll be fat shit. Like it's just a fact. I'm looking like I had the conversation the other day about the Diablo 4, right? Like in Diablo 4 went out, campaign was all right, and then people were like, game shit, right? It's a 1 billion disaster basically. And people started to provide all of the feedback, and because of this feedback, they came out with this season 1 being like still bad, and then season 2 was like better, and then season 3 was shit. And then they understood that because of all of this feedback, and because people were like, if season 4 is not good, we're leaving, like all of us. And that made Blizzard to go and do this extra effort to try to make actually something good out of it. And if people would not put this pressure on the company, they would not do it, like never, basically. Like you need to go and you need to push consistently on getting better service and explain to people that they should not fuck with you, because otherwise companies will.
Well, that's why
it's just beneficial to them.
I'm a little worried with Xbox kind of taking a step back and kind of bowing out of the console war. I said this before. I feel like this is when Sony's going to make all the moves they've been wanting to make, because now they kind of know that. Well, who are they competing with, right? I don't really think they view Nintendo as competition. They have two completely different markets, right? So I feel like their direct competition was always Microsoft. If Microsoft bows out, Sony's going to pull a Crunchyroll, and before you know it, it's going to be ridiculous,
Well, the problem is that if Sony is the only console, and there is no effective competition, they will immediately get under so many regulations in so many territories.
Yeah,
like that would be not beneficial. Like
telling me that Google
makes sense for them to have one
competition.
No, what I'm telling is that it would be same.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean, like Sony would all of a sudden become this company that European Parliament would be kind of like, oh, you're a fucking monopolist now.
Yeah.
And American Security Commission being kind of like, come here, like let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like another Congress hearing, whatever, and they're like, would be paying trillions, billions, whatever.
You know what I'm hearing then? I'm hearing Sega get back in the console market. Come on, Sega, give us a Dreamcast too.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
it's a gay. That's what you want to make a console? Sega? Like, yeah, no thanks. That console be rainbow colored, bro.
Did you call them Sega?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You need to play your sound effect, Atreus. The Sega one. I fucking love that shit. It cracks me up every time. I almost fell off my motorbike once because I was listening to your video and that just came in my ear like, bah! I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, we definitely don't need Sega to make a console right now. That's just not gonna happen. All right, let me catch up on Supers, man. I'm so far behind.
Sure.
Shout out to Stormbringer, not just 110, but 210 gifted Hypnotic memberships, man. Thank you. That is massive. I appreciate that, Stormbringer. Shout out to you, my friend. We also got Lod 689 gifting a 1 Hypnotic membership. Thank you so much, man. We also got Animus Addict for 20. Says it's Saturday and I'm loving your streams. Thank you so much, Animus Addict. I appreciate that. We got Cult Classic Cage with the $3 super sticker. Thank you so much, Cassie. Hope you're having a good night. We got Vet Gamer Bocephus for 20. Says they're going to mandate it because they're biometric tech that they want to put in it. They will try to make that biometric tech compulsory. How do you say that word?
Compulsory.
There you go. Tied into their TOS to work around privacy laws. Now, PlayStation did say that they're experimenting with some nonsense like that, right? Like they were.
I was reading that shit. I was like, that's some serious Minority Report bullshit here. Basically, they're building this tech which is effectively predicts like harassment or something, and you get automatically banned. You're like, what?
Imagine going as soon as you go banned.
No, it would be you even think about it and you're banned.
You're like,
before I can even pretend to be a white guy and call you the N-word, I get banned immediately.
What's Minority Report?
It's a movie. What the fuck?
Ryan heard the word minority.
Let's
He's like,
play-
I'm interested.
Hold on.
To be fair, he was only like 3 years old when it came out. So.
I'm gonna make a new animation because I take my animation very seriously. Because this is a new game we play on this stream now. It's like what 3-4 streams in a row. We're going to play really quick during super chats. We're gonna play guess Ryan's age, and Alec is gonna have to guess Ryan's age right now. So let's do it.
48.
48. Divide by 2.
I will outlive all of you.
Divide by 2.
I am 24 years old. Eric July said 38.
We play this game on our stream as well.
Eric July was trying to be nice.
I don't.
Oh, by the way,
that.
guys,
I
we
don't.
hit record numbers on this stream. We're officially at 710 on YouTube. That is wild, absolutely wild. So thank you guys so much. Growing every single week. Where are we at?
And 73 chat is on fire.
Also, Vet Gamer Basifis, just so you're aware, you're probably onto something with this. I forgot to say that. I'm watching that tech very closely. But you gotta understand too. A lot of these companies they'll put out article statements, whatever press release about shit like this. And this is so far into the future. Like they're just talking about it to gauge public interest and see what the conversation would be around something like that. TGAP Steve gives 5 Hypnotic memberships. Thank you so much, TGAP. I appreciate you. Our boy Levistro for 20 says in 24 hours, Helldivers 2 went from mostly positive to mixed, which is 434,373. And with recent mostly negative, oh my god, it went up to 157,000. Holy shit. When I did a video earlier today, it was at 122,000. Oh my god.
It's crazy. Like,
that's crazy.
Pull the screen up now.
No, they didn't. People are spreading people are spreading the comment that the community manager made about the other countries as if they're walking it back for the US too. And that's just going around on Twitter. It's not true. I hope Steam offers a refund policy. The day the new mandate becomes available, they could call it the Sony policy. So apparently there are some people that are getting refunds, and a lot of people are getting denied. I got denied, but then I came to find out that when you request a refund on Steam, the first time you request it, it's going to be decided by a bot. The second time you request it, it's going to be decided by a human. They're going to manually review it. So that's why the first one, it got denied like in an hour. The second one, it's been hours and I haven't got a response yet. So chances are it's probably waiting for a human review. And I'm sure they have like thousands they're going through right now.
When did that happen? Because like I refunded mine over a month ago, and it went through right away.
Well, did you have over 2 hours of playtime in it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Because I had not hundreds, but I had almost 100 hours of playtime, I believe.
Boy,
and they said
I'm coming up on 100. Hold up.
Yeah, I had a good amount in there.
Still don't know.
I'm at 61 hours. Never mind. I lied.
The fuck is this, Will?
It's just something I've been working on. I'm sick of Mark Hamill, and I just wanted to fire back at him, so I'm going.
You just wanted to vent against Mark Hamill.
By the way, it's May the 4th, and no one gave a shit to talk about Star Wars at all. How amazing!
Yeah, I don't care, and I'm not gonna start.
Mark Hamill went fucking weird and completely like obnoxious in last week. I want to say there's a whole bunch of news in the White House, and then he's been in London talking about carbon emission. Let's clear London air and stuff, like all that jazz, right? You know, like, and you're like, well, what's going on here? Like, is it like how actor retirement and end of the arc?
No, they're
like,
using it.
It's funny because you look at the New York. There's people in New York. They're actually talking about turning red. Like that amazes me.
That's not gonna happen.
Like, well, there's talk. I mean,
just because a lot of builders came out in New York to support Trump when that was.
No, it has a lot to do with like the police departments. People don't feel safe. Like there's a lot.
It's a lot of because of the Columbia as well. I mean, like it's a lot of like people underestimate the sentiment around universities. You know, like because like it's painful, obviously, you know, like for education and tuitions for colleges and universities is a big part of long-term budgeting for American families. And when that get disregarded so heavily, it infuses a lot of insecurity in current administration. So I would not be surprised if that would be a huge swing to the right, because like all of this protest bullshit going on. It's like older generation don't give a shit, isn't it? You know, like they're like, we wait for our kids, and instead of getting education, they live in some, like Esmond put it, like a rust fort. You know, like which is right. You know, like, and it's a big thing. It's a big issue. And there is also an anti-sentiment, you know, like to the day in the general left agenda. I don't know if you saw the news on that. MIT actually put away DAY wording from all of the hiring stuff, policies and stuff. So this MIT stepping away from this.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. Yeah. Let me keep going because again, guys, I'm behind. Black Dynamite became a member. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. We got Raiden Kage for 5. Says the reason why hard games have good communities is because they remember hard work takes humility, and that's what the activists don't have.
That's right, brother.
Activists.
Yep.
But I appreciate you. Thank you, Raiden Kage. You are correct. We got Sleeping Nova for 5. Says Atreus is right. I am part of the MH community, Monster Hunter community. I don't care about showing off. I just want to have fun and help out other hunters, old and new.
Now, Monster Hunter is a great community, by the way.
There you go. Raiden Kage for 2 says Atreus and me going to be on the farm sim chilling. No, you're not. No, you're not. I want to see Atreus playing a farm game. It is mandatory.
He's gonna grow weed. That's what he's gonna grow.
I wonder.
I was gonna say something totally different.
Racial profiling.
Well, I wonder what DLC will be released for that game.
Hopefully, one that takes place in the early 1800s. I can only imagine.
Hopefully, some new bra sizes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Cotton picking was the joke, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't.
No.
You know what?
Didn't
You
get that
fucking
at all.
piece of shit. Fuck you.
That's the guy who literally says cotton picking minute in like every video.
Justin, yeah, he does. Justin Akinsola for $9.99 says console gamers can be the biggest biatches. Thank you. I appreciate that. PC gamers, that's the only dub you don't get used to it. Y'all eat crow too. Damn, I don't appreciate you anymore.
If I ever make a game, it will be at 24 frames per second, just to spite you, motherfuckers.
Well, just because we're British.
Well, thank God you can't afford to make a game, so you can't even afford to buy it.
Even better, I would love for him to make a game and not be able to afford the game he made.
That would be a Ryan thing for sure. Oh my God.
That's fucking brilliant.
Just because we're British and we need to show the passport to the king every time we're playing a fucking video game, aren't we?
Yeah. You got to own this one. You guys own Ryan, unfortunately. Drunk Canuck for 5 says Steam is now restricting sales in countries with no PSN access as of 3 hours ago. Now that I can see, I can see that happening because Steam does not want to get fucked in terms of legality reasons, I would imagine, because and this is how you know this was never going to be a thing. This was not meant to be the way it was, since the beginning, like people like to say. No, that's not the case. They changed the terms of service. The fact that Steam is restricting sales in regions that don't have PSN just goes to show that none of this was planned. If this was planned, Steam would have never sold the game to begin with in countries that don't have PSN. They would have locked it out from day one.
Did you hear the conspiracy theory going around that I don't think there's any truth to this whatsoever, but it is interesting how it correlates, is that this always was the plan. It was in the pipeline, but it was a ways down the line. And then with all the negative reaction to Stellarblade and how much money they're losing on the refunds, they fast tracked it to try and basically get some.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know if I can sort of believe that, but I don't know if I do, because yeah, it does seem like it's happening at the worst time. I just don't understand why Sony would want to give themselves massive bad PR press twice, like back to back. It just seems a little odd.
That's why I don't believe it. Even Sony can't be that dumb, but man, it's really interesting that it happened that close together.
It is, which makes it almost seem as if it's not purposeful, right? Like I don't know. I would need to see more information to kind of make that decision. But as of right now, I'm not fully believing that conspiracy. But hey, I mean, listen, it's fucking Sony. Anything is possible. James Op Pretend says PC gamers mod the crap out of games like Dragon's Dogma, Crapcorn, buy our crap PC gamers Nah, we will just give ourselves those things. Well, I mean, yeah, that's why people want games to come out on PC half the time, because a lot of the shit that's restricted on console, you have free access to on PC, and you could just make up whatever. So, I mean, look at the games. Think of it this way. Look at the games that still have life to this day that would otherwise not have life if they were console exclusives. If it didn't come out on PC, right? Almost every single Bethesda game, old and new, is surviving long term simply because of mods, right? Like you have Skyrim.
Mods have the touch of the Black Hand because they bring life.
They do bring life. And the thing is, mods create without forced DEI initiatives. They're actually creating to be creative, not creating to.
Mods are the type of the community that actually gives a burst to a lot of very good game designers in general, like skillful game designers. And like, for example, the Brandon, what was his second name? The guy who made the PlayerUnknown Battleground, he's like ex-Arma modder, right? You know, like he's a game designer from the mod community. And I think that modding community is extremely important. I think one of the issues of the gaming industry is that they never really established relationships in between the mod community and the companies to provide more opportunities for experienced modders to become game designers into the development. That could make much more of a better games if they would.
Yeah, and they're I mean, plain and simple, they're a lot more passionate too, right? So the unfortunate thing is that these modders usually they start off extremely passionate, they love doing what they do, and they think that by getting into the mainstream gaming industry, that's their dream. And then they come to find out that, that's usually not the greatest thing to probably aspire to half the time. Because depending on who you work for, they end up complaining about crunch and all this other nonsense. And
hey.
What? Yeah, I know you advocate for crunch. I know.
Crunch.
I know.
Crunch is the way.
Crunch that cracker, y'all.
Remember,
I agree with Trace on this 100%. Like I think that crunch in the industry, and Alex, I mean, maybe you've got thoughts on this and you can explain why we're fucking retarded, but I'm very pro crunch.
It's really like for me, like it's neither good or bad. Like people like all of this bullshit about like putting tax of something being universally pro or contra is like it's just why people would do that. Like crunch sometimes necessary, but it has to be organized by the management into the right way. People should have their overhead payments for the extra effort. They need to have some extra days after the crunch is over.
Maybe I should rephrase. I shouldn't say that. Crunch is not inherently bad, is what I should say.
People kind of like people like when someone says like a crunch and like there's been created this whole visage of like sweat houses of people who's been not fed for 25 fucking days in an office on the floor, like in shit and piss, just pressing buttons down. It's not how
their fingers bleed.
I mean, like if you did
Ryan enjoys that dog.
You being a former developer, my whole thing was what I said was if I opened up a video game studio, I would have rooms built in it, showers, a kitchen, certain things.
Pools.
Some people take like some people prefer this way. I mean, like, and you need to properly separate your company. I used to run the company, like being a founder of back in the day in Ukraine, where we had like a separate facility for R&D people because they work in a completely different routine as well. And they've been free to come into the office anytime they fucking want. They were allowed to bring in booths and music instruments, guitars, whatever the help to work them. And they would show up like at 6 o'clock in the evening, work through the whole night. Someone would stay for a day, someone would disappear. I mean, like it was just a process, right? And it was fine for an R&D people because like you do not expect plans to be done by those type of specialists. Like R&D people just show up magically like fucking else 2 times a year with some solution that improves your production process 10% across all of the board for the whole year.
And I'm not saying that you should be working 80 hours a week like I do. All I'm saying is when you're passionate about something, I'm like, let's be honest, in the grand scheme of things, you're making video games for a living. So some people are so passionate they don't want to go to sleep tonight. I'm so close to finishing.
I guess what you're saying is that just having in office a capacity and opportunity for people who want to do that for any time is absolutely correct to have that. Yeah,
I used to have a software outsourcing company, and some of the devs that I had as employees would just never wanted to go home. They really didn't. It's like you said, they had booze, they had guitars and stuff. We had a kitchen. They wanted to eat, sleep, bleed work. That's it. They loved what they were doing. They loved it. They'd be
This
there
is why
after
you
I
should
left.
hire men, because men love to work.
It was all men. Yeah. The women went home.
Well, every industry I've ever worked in has always had overtime, whether it be
Hey, Leon.
mandatory, whoever. Yeah.
Can you read this member chat since you guys won't let me finish? Can you read this and then say what you're gonna say?
Sure.
I've
I own
uninstalled
Helldivers. And I own it on PS5. Also, Ryan is a bridge troll, and
From Kilted
The bridge
Cage,
is
member for
also made out
10
of
months.
cardboard,
Thank
I
you,
would
man.
gather.
I appreciate you. Go ahead, Leon.
No, like every industry that I've ever worked in, I imagine all you guys have experienced this, is that has had overtime. What makes the video game industry so different? Like I work IT. We had this one issue, this one project came up, and there was major crunch for 4 days in a row. I went in at 3 p.m. and worked till 5 a.m. literally the next morning. They would go home, sleep, come at 3 a.m. And I enjoyed it. It was fun, and the fucking paycheck afterwards was sick. Why would that be a bad thing? It was optional.
They get paid on salary.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's months of that, it might start to grind on you a bit. I'm just going to say that, although in principle, I agree with you guys.
They used to be like that in the 70s and 80s with the comic book industry. They would have what they would call like the pit, where they all the writers would be in their offices writing, and then the artists would all be drawing in the center section of the office, and it was a blast. You don't see that anymore. So like I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a gaming industry get away from that as well. Like and you're already starting to see it. People are starting to work from home more often. So
Yeah, they're really trying to hold on to that too. Like they don't want to go back to the office or anything like that.
So it's just a couple of reasons for it, and they're very simple. And I think we all should call them honestly. Like one of them is that a lot of people don't want to go to an office, not to be subjected to all of the office politics. It just because fuck it.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with that shit. Your ass coming in the office.
Office politics is just annoying for developers because when you develop anything, like this is the reason why admin and managers don't really like production people at all, because like production people typically just call shit as it is. And another reason is that when you get into the zone to work, it takes you 20-30 minutes. And if you're distracted, you're like super pissed about it because you need to do some shit and then go back again, and you really like you're off, like at these moments. And another reason is that a lot of people who's been home over the COVID got themselves the second and the third job and whatever, and they just do a couple of things. I mean,
but that's what we're missing. Like even if you go to like the old SNL days where they would be in the offices like for like a week, like 24/7 in there, being creative and creating all these incredible skits and stuff like that. You hear all these stories about it, whatever it is. You hear these stories about. Like for me, it's comic book industry where they would be in the pit, and then you hear guys come in like Jim Lee would come in at midnight, whip off a couple pages in 2 hours, and then he's gone.
I'm at the finishing stage of making a graphic novel at this point based on my book, so I know.
Nice.
Yeah, it's but the problem was I completely agree with you. But we all need to take into consideration that Pete would only work as we were keeping it. You gotta keep it separated, right? From everyone else. Because developers want to hang out with developers. And fuck this inclusiveness bullshit. I mean, like developers are people with the specific mindset who attach to the other people with the specific mindset, and they're like super meritocratic. In general, like those people will squeeze out anyone with the lack of skill. Like just because it's the way it's structured, right? Like they're all competitive. And this is just the way. I mean, and having these people in, it was cool for people because it was fun. Like in general, and people were intellectually competing all the time and playing this intellectual ping pong, and this is why great results being born. And it's also the reason why all the writing rooms doesn't work these days, because you cannot have a writing room and a functional writing room in a conditions of DIY basically, because you can't argue. Like the person who been put in, into the writing room based on the extra skill factors, based on if this is an identity hire, and if they have a high factor of confidence, they will suppress the whole fucking room.
Yes.
And there would be no conversation in general. I mean, that's why creatively, a lot of products of creative rooms currently are shit.
Well, you see it like Laurel Cannon, like you had all those great musicians just doing riffs, and they were saying, "Hey, I like that riff," and they would just give each other riffs or music, or like it's a lost art. I totally agree with you.
Jamming is a lost art, in all of the senses. Like one of my I'm writing a lot as well. I mean, I like Aaron Sorkin in general. You know, like, and the Aaron Sorkin is well known for the Spitfire dialogue style. You know, like when the dialogue you just like go super quickly, and people love that shit, right? You know, like, and it doesn't work anymore because like people just don't write it. You know, like the post-millennial writing is completely helpless.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just horrible. Like, and it affects movie much.
Dirty to us, Alex.
You know, really quick, guys. Let me finish up. Please, with super chats. Really, I got 4 more. We got Victor D. Snuts for 5. Alyssa McConte is no longer the yeast demon. She has evolved into the beast high priest of the yeast. Jesus Christ! What that's a graphic name. I don't need to be thinking about that. Thank you so much for the 5 though. Panther 111 for 2 says 24 FPS for the same speed Star Wars was made at. Wow.
Talking
about that new Battlefield 1 and 2 remaster.
Sounds terrible. Phantom War for 10 says I was gonna buy Helldivers 2, but after the new requirement, I'm not gonna, even though I play on both PC and console. I think the requirement for linking is stupid unless it helps with cross progression. So
same as that, basically, for me.
And you know, I think it was who was it? I think it was Mudahar that put out a video, you know, and he said something along the lines of, you know, a compromise probably would have been for people who don't want to link their accounts. You don't allow crossplay for them. You know, just let them play only with Steam players. Then at that point, like don't force them to have to use PSN. You know, there's plenty of players on Steam. What'd you say, Leon? 70% of the player base?
If the report I read was true, yes, 70% of Helldivers 2 players were Steam users.
That's what I thought, because this game blew up because of PC, if I remember correctly, because that just took it to a whole another level. But anyway, and last but not least, we got Lot689 for 1 membership. Thank you so much, Lot. I appreciate you. All right, guys, let me show you this picture I found. So apparently, like we talked about it not being available in other countries. Well, somebody just posted this whole fucking list on Twitter, and it is massive. The amount of countries that are affected. Actually, let me bring up the picture separately so I could zoom in. I mean, there is a ton of countries that are now apparently being put on the purchase restricted countries. And there's about 3 pages worth. There's about 3 pages worth of countries. This is only 1 page. 3 pages worth. I wonder what's going to happen. Are they going to refund the game now to the people who bought the game in these countries? Are they going to like what happens at this point? What happens at this point?
I don't think they would legally have to. Funimation didn't have to give refunds to the items that you purchased that you no longer own after the Crunchyroll buyout.
Oh, true.
I guess it's not a full list as well because it's under G, right? You know, like it should be more to it. I mean, like, and there are countries like Netherlands. They're like big, like legit big European countries as well. I mean, like I think, yeah. Well, here we go. I mean, like, and that's it's an impressive list.
Damn, Haiti. Feel bad for Haiti.
Yeah. Hey, Atreus's favorite country is on this list. The name I can't say.
So actually, if I can quickly comment to the chat because there's been a comment addressed, you know, like it's about writing fanfics and fan fiction in general online. You know, like I don't disagree. I mean, like what I'm saying is that there is a lot of very good writers in the world and in general who are not in the industry, and people who get in the industry, they immediately subjected to 2 things. First of them is restrictions and different type of obstacles you need to navigate to write at. And if as a writer you're subjected to that, you write shit. Like you just, you know, because like you don't write what you think you have to write and it doesn't work. Second one is again writing rooms, and you do not choose often if you start working for the movie or for a bigger TV project to what specific writing room you would be put out to. And you just can get into a dysfunctional collective of people who are just writing stuff, you know, like, and you would not really have a word in it. That's just how it works. And that's an issue. But you know, like there are a lot of very good individual authors, and I think like with many other forms of entertainment, I think that we're living in an age where a lot of people would just find their audiences, you know, like at this point, and would work with it directly. So here you go.
Let me showcase this really quick. So this was sent on my Discord.
Oh wow!
And you can see they've made this change about 3 hours ago. A bunch of countries now. one thing I gotta think right off the top of my head, seeing something like this and seeing all these countries get added, this tells me, maybe I'm wrong, but this tells me that Steam probably reached out to Sony, and Sony, they had a little discussion, and Sony probably told them, yeah, we're not going to walk this back. Like we've probably internally discussed, we're not going to walk this back. We are 100% going to be mandating this starting at the date that we said. And then Steam started saying, okay, well, shit, we can't sell this game anymore. So they started adding. I think that by Steam removing countries like this, I think this all but confirms that we're probably not going to get a walk back on this. I think they're going to double down on this.
Yeah, countries and territories of places like the United States and the United Kingdom, so overseas territories, as well.
Yeah, I think they're definitely gonna stick to it. Go ahead, Gooch.
I just don't understand the logic. I really don't understand this. Like, it's like they're trying to kill the company. Because
I think that what Steam does is that Steam just don't want to stay in a burning building, so they just damage control, basically saying it's not us. Like,
no, yeah, but I mean Sony. Like I don't understand Sony. Like I don't like what it like.
Well, you need to take into consideration that people who take decision into the big corporate, they never apologize, like a lot of people at Twitter, and they do not admit their issues and faults because, like, once you're roasted, like in general.
This comment is wrong inherently, just based off this list, right? And no disrespect to this comment. I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying there's a lot of people coming out and saying, oh, this was always supposed to be this way from the start. I don't believe that. There's too many different things showcasing that it's not, right? Number one, again, we said earlier, the terms of service was changed from optional to mandatory for some games, right? That tells me that you done fucked up, number one. Number two, Steam is now canceling the ability to be able to buy this game in countries that you were able to buy this game in up until today, right? So, or up until today. So if this was always meant to be this way from the start, Steam would not have allowed you to buy this game.
Well, and number three, to add to your point, the only people that are saying that this was supposed to be the case are the community managers from Arrowhead. Do we really trust community managers at this point?
No, absolutely not.
No
they didn't even know about this in the first place, so it didn't even matter. So again, the fact that
it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if information about that it will happen was presented in a way that no one understood it. Then it's still the fault of the company,
right?
It's
exactly.
like it's a user experience flaw in that sense,
right?
And
but
like
you got to think too, Alec. I'm sorry not to cut you off. You got to think too that it's not just the buyers who were then confused or misunderstood, because then at this point you can say Steam was misunderstood. Then, if you want to say that this entire thing was meant to be this way from the start, that means Steam was confused because they allowed sales to countries that they shouldn't have, because those countries would have been affected by this if this was supposed to be this way from the beginning. And do you think Steam is that stupid? I don't think so.
I would say even more. I think that even Sony is confused now at this point, because most probably that's just been overlooked internally. Yeah. I just can see that in front of my eyes. People having a conversation in a boardroom without technical specialists, as it often happens, or someone being in vacation or delayed.
See, I tried to be nice to this guy, and he did the typical Sony soy boy thing. Like, don't cry when PlayStation games will come. I have a PS5, bro. I'm not gonna cry. I don't care.
I didn't hear you.
I was trying to help you understand things from a different perspective.
It's like I mean, like, and the issue was probably, just to finish on that, is that they're like someone would go in a high executive chair would go for like, if we would do that, are we gonna be fine? And someone in a little bit less executive chair would go like, yeah, we're absolutely covered, and accept and some technical people would probably try to tell them, like, that there would be issues with the different territories, and they would be told to deal with that, and most probably they didn't. And so now all of this bullshit just comes up, tits up, and that's an issue.
Yeah. This is definitely going to be a major problem. I think that Steam is going to be coming for Sony to some extent. I don't know how much money Steam is going to lose for refunding all this. I'm sure Sony's losing a lot of money too, but I mean, it just sets them up for so many different legality issues. It's not even funny. And I think that's what they're going to come after them more for.
I literally
Another
just
thing,
looked
like, I
at their
kind of
stock.
compared this to being like if you bought a Samsung TV and they like, you know, when you buy a Samsung TV, a 65-inch OLED TV, you don't necessarily have to connect it to the internet in order to use it. You want to download apps and stuff like that, then that's perfectly fine. You can connect to the internet. But what if fucking Samsung just hit you up after you bought their TV 3 months down the line? This is for the idiots that keep saying it was always supposed to be this way, or it's not that big of an issue. What if Samsung sent you an email and said, "Oh, by the way, you got to create a Samsung account and connect your fucking TV to the internet and get an update, or we're going to shut off your HDMI ports." This is essentially the same goddamn thing.
Yep.
That was real well put, Atreus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we all
No,
just shocked that Atreus did that?
Yeah.
Good Atreus. Damn,
I
that's kind of messed up.
just looked at the stocks of Sony and it's pathetic. I don't know what they're thinking. Like it's a big drop.
I'll tell you what they're thinking, Gooch. At least what I think they're thinking anyway, because obviously we don't know. I'm thinking that, like I said earlier, they're very confident. All right, they have this thing in their mind that Helldivers has been massively successful for the last 3 months. That they are thinking that the typical MCU mindset, right? There's no way we can fail.
Yep.
We're way too big to fail at this point. The gamers will just do whatever we tell them to do to keep playing this game. They've been playing like crazy for the last 3 months. They're not gonna make a stink out of this, and they thought they could get away with it. They thought they could boost up their PSN numbers easily by having PC players sign up, and we weren't going to make it into a thing. And they came to find out that they were wrong.
I can also add
timing.
that, you know, like with a little bit of understanding of internal conjuncture, I think that someone is lying internally of basically saying that, you know, like that this whole situation with gamers has no effect into the stock's price. It's just some market volatility. You know, like it's not connected. We have everything under control. People produce confidence, you know, like, and all that shit. Because again, like in a high corporate, like you cannot show doubts ever as well. I mean, like even if world is burning around you, you need to stay in control basically. And this is the reason why, if you noticed, you know, like all of the shitty news about like corporate companies, they have this spawn of 5 minutes from everything been fine to everything is done. You know, like it's just because people do not recognize an issue until it actually happens in the 5 minutes before it's too late. So that's a part of a problem as well.
I imagine this shift up and Arrowhead Studios are like emailing each other right now, like they slept with the same crazy girl that ruined their fucking lives.
I'm like, did you get an STD check too? Shit. You're positive too? Fuck. You know? We both got the Elysium content.
Yeah. I was like writing a Twitter today.
Almost
I was
forgot
like,
about her for 5 minutes.
Is it somewhere in a fucking contract that every developer need to take a fall for Sony experiments for revenue? You know, like it's like
when you do the deal with the devil, my good man, expect its due payment.
Yeah.
Just
wonder if one of these companies just got enough at some point and just go into the rant online on Twitter somewhere, being like, "Fuck you, fuck legal consequences," you know, like it's just 5 minutes, you know, like just a crazy rant, you know, like that would be a glorious day.
It is pretty wild, man. The timing of everything, but I think that ultimately we're gonna find out the real answer. What's gonna happen when what is it? A month from now? I think they said June
15th. Oh, you mean like the
grace? They're giving you another grace period, right? Because for this thing that supposedly it's about to, it's about safety. It's about being able to ban griefers. Yeah, you're gonna give you another month.
Did you see Jeff Grubb's tweet on that?
No.
So he actually, I made a video on that. He actually said he said he doesn't mind connecting to his PSN account, but he says don't lie and say it's about safety when it's really about getting our data in your ecosystem.
No,
of course.
So,
yeah,
and that's an ecosystem you don't want to be in. I'm telling you.
Like, I don't even have a PS. I got a PS5, but I don't connect to the internet for nothing. Like,
and it's also the thing. It's the thing of, okay, so why would you want to get a PSN, right? A lot of PC players probably don't have consoles, right? Some of them do, some of them don't. But I know a lot of people that don't. And what are they going to use that PSN account for other than to play Helldivers? Like, are you hoping that they're going to somehow go out and buy a PS5 and become a console player by having a PSN? Or I just don't get it. Like, you were already selling your games to PC players prior without forcing a link. linking them is not going to make them want to buy the game any less. Or actually, it's going to make them buy it less, but it's not going to want to make them buy the game any more than they already were.
Foothold into the PC market. That's what I believe.
They already
foothold into the digital realm, and they fucked it up.
They were already doing that, Ryan. They already had games coming out. They were doing pretty well on PC. They didn't have to force a link in order to do that. All they're doing is they're going into the PC market with the console mindset, and you can't fucking do that. That's not going to work. You're going to find out very quickly that people on there is two different clientele, right? It's kind of like Alec was saying, with two different kind of working ethics, right? Hold on, Will. There you go. Two different kind of clientele. If you go into the PC market trying to act like console, like it's not going to work. You're going to find out those decisions don't work. Yeah. And I guess that's what they're finding out. You know, so
different. I also just checked online. Sony earnings report is the 14th of May in 10 days.
Yeah.
It means that in 10 days, you know, like we'll get more clarity. If they would heavily underreport, that would explain a lot in general, and the reaction on the stocks and the reaction on investors will clarify a lot of data on those decisions. Mm-hmm. So it's a week and a half from now.
Yeah.
Well, the way that I explained it to folks in my video earlier was that, let's say you've got for people.
Time out, Leon. I'm sorry. Time out. Who's got the echo? Somebody's got the echo.
A very quiet echo. Yeah.
I think I'm good.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Okay, Leon, keep talking.
Necromancer, they cannot cook the books. It's illegal in their case for a public company. You know, like, and if they will, it would be too much of discrepancy from the last report and from their revenue arc, basically, and from the revenue graphs. And the last report was not stellar. They underreported on the number of hardware console sales as well. I mean, like, so we'll see.
Got it. Okay, Leon, what are you gonna say?
Well, humans are inherently want to find the path of least resistance. So, you know, let's say you're a YouTuber, right? You know, you're a big YouTuber and you've got one of two options. You got to start a Patreon or start a channel membership subscription process. Most people will go the channel membership process because you stay on platform when doing that. Therefore, people are more likely to choose channel memberships. If you go the Patreon route, you're going to have your dedicated fans that will make the switch, that will add. But once you add that extra layer of I have to go off platform to add a step, you immediately just excised a bunch of individuals who just don't want to take the extra step because there is more resistance there. You've gotten rid of the path of least resistance. So that's exactly what Sony did here. Let's give them the utmost benefit of the doubt and pretend this is not malicious in any way. It's still a retarded business move because it automatically is going to turn people off to that want the path of least resistance.
You got people that watch your YouTube channel that refuse to make a YouTube account, and now you're going to force people to make a PSN account.
I'll be real with you. If you want to talk about maliciousness,
people who protecting this, you know, they go for like, I mean, like, why are you like bitching about it? It's just 2 minutes, and I was like, well, I mean, like, it's such a suck in a dick, but not a lot of people go for it because, you know, like, not a lot of us like it, you know, like I agree that some people are, you know, like, but come on.
That's a damn good analogy.
About 2 minutes. It's basically a dirty analogy. Is what
I'm mad. I never thought of it before. That's something I feel like would have came out of me, but I guess not.
Awesome, pure awesome.
But just to go back with the maliciousness thing, it became malicious to me the moment they changed their terms of service and tried to hide it. That's when it became obviously disingenuous. Like what they're doing, what they're saying, the whole bullshit narrative they're trying to spin about why they're doing it. It became malicious as fuck when you tried to change the terms of service to benefit you on the day that you made the announcement, and then you pretend like, oh, it was always that way. It was always meant to be that way.
What makes them think nobody was gonna see that shit, bro? It's the internet, bro. Everything is seen.
Yeah.
Because
there's millions of us.
I'm telling you, I don't know
what it is. Stupid.
They think we're stupid, and I think that's like what Alec was saying. I think that has to do with somebody's lying internally, right? Like somebody's lying internally, and I think maybe it's community manager or something. Who knows? But
they're lying up and down.
Somebody's lying,
yeah. But about the internet, have you seen this?
But remember what old? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry interrupting you, but you have us interrupting. No, go for it. I mean, it's fine.
No, so remember what old girl said from, I know this is the film industry and not the video game industry, but remember what old girl said from Madam Web? She said, executive thinks audiences are stupid, but they're actually really fucking smart.
Yeah.
I mean, this is that. Like these people up top, they think they're God, bro. Like They literally think we're the morons and they're the ones doing God's work. You know how you get comments in your YouTube section that say you're doing God's work, bro. Keep going. I think there are literally people up there telling these folks that they're doing God's work, and they believe it.
It's even worse than that. It's this fucking God complex of people. I mean, like, who are trying to be close to the other people who are like super rich, who live in their ivory towers, and who like think that they can decide for all of us because they're trying to save the fucking planet from the climate crisis and a bunch of other things, and we're just too stupid to understand. But for some weird reason, all of this work happens on the audience margin, isn't it? You know, like, it's always us and them paying for that shit and for these global ideas, you know, like, aren't we? And no one wants to ask us. And audience, like, just stop to be stupid. Do you remember this movie on Netflix called Don't Fuck with Cats? About people just fucking up this guy, just being like people online with a lot of free time, you know, like just completely doing this investigation and thing, you know. Like,
that was a really good film, by the way.
As well. Manhunt,
because we have all of the time on hands, you know, like, and we can go and educate ourselves and basically spend a lot of time catching them red-handed, you know, like, for a lot of stuff.
100%. They think we're stupid. We're the people who beat games like Elden Ring and Cuphead and stuff just routinely, and they think we're dumb.
I mean, people have beaten Dark Souls with a banana.
I know, I know.
And we can't take screenshots, you dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah, they genuinely think we're that fucking retarded. It's so unbelievably stupid.
People used to beat Battletoads, you know, like, that was hard.
Yeah. Adventures of Alundra, PS1, the puzzles in that were fucking fiendish.
Ghosts and Goblins, for God's sake. That was
Ghosts and Goblins,
one of my favorite
Zelda
games
2.
There,
These are hard fucking games, and we beat all of them.
Yeah.
They think we can't figure out their plots.
I have to admit, I hate playing hard games. I play games on journalist mode. I recently started playing Frostpunk again, and I play on the easy mode. The society just fucking collapses after a month.
That game, by the way, Ryan, I almost fucking called your ass out yesterday because you told Atreus, you're like, all right, Atreus, I'm done watching your stream. Good night. And then I see you load up Frostpunk or whatever on your fucking stream. I'm like,
but I thought I seen him say that, though. I could have sworn I seen him say, I'm loading up Frost.
Yeah, that was later. Yeah, that was later. But Frostpunk 2's come out recently, folks. I can't afford it, so I bought the original one on sale. I bought all the.
If you stop letting your slaves escape, you'll be able to buy some shit around here.
They're very costly, Atreus. They're very, very costly. But I haven't heard Coach say much recently. So, what do you think about this
on something
situation?
I'm putting a drawing together first, guys. So, well, I mean, we've seen the situation over and over again. I think we are in a time where people that are, obviously the masters on top, they are now predicating this new religion that quality is agenda. And so as long as it's stuffed with a lot of agenda, then it corresponds to quality. Yep. What used to be craftsmanship, what used to be artisans, what used to be artists like we've also discussed earlier in the writing room and all that. And that time is about to fade. It's about to go because people are just fed up, and we see it on all entertainment levels. And I'm not surprised at the gaming level, that the gaming world is such a huge resistance because, first of all, like Will said, there are millions of it, right? The gaming world is probably the biggest world and one of the biggest sector. But most importantly, because the gaming sector kind of connects drawers, artists, it connects a lot of different branches of creativity, and therefore they don't want to be they don't want to be put into this niche anymore. People are really fed up with this shit. They're trying to understand what also happened since March 2020, right? The sea crisis, and it looks all like programmed, right? Now they're firing thousands and thousands of employees after they promised us that they are taking all these huge loans from the banks to not fire those thousands and thousands of employees. And the prices have risen nonetheless, and the quality is sinking down. And so all these effects with with the downfall of economy in 1.5 years or so, when the recession is going to kick in, because Federal Reserve is printing money like fucking crazy and giving out loans, and distributing money all over the globe without kind of taking care of the own infrastructure in the land. So when that recession is going to kick in, a lot of those flags that were just placed there because of money reasons, because of opportunism and all that, they're gonna change the way they're waving, and they're all coming down. And therefore this whole defense circular ring that was built around the masters and their agenda, that is perpetrated by all these weak woo-woos in the pseudo non-conformistic life bubbles, it's gonna all burst as soon as they don't have any money anymore, because they are not used to work. They're not used to kind of doing that work that brought us into entertainment, brought us into games and comic books in the first place. God's work, the great work, where people really think and fight over details, where they put a lot of hours and passion into every minuscule little piece of the story structure, of the development, of the play and everything else. And these people will come back. They're just waiting on the sidelines. They're all there.
I don't know. I don't know, Coach. Like, because everyone blames anxiety. Everyone blames anxiety, and they can't get through that. They don't want to go through the resilience of making mistakes and overcoming these hurdles.
No,
like,
I know. And they will fall away. This is what I mean. When that defense circle, that defense ring that is still there, when it's coming down in a year or so, the system will be exposed, and then they have to face critique, and they will have to face the backlash, and
they will start fucking each other. I mean, like, if you want to make money, start investing into the popcorn. You would need a lot of this audience. Would need a lot of it, and it's already started. Because if you have noticed, like currently, like people who are like talking about inclusivity, toxicity, a bunch of other things, they're doubling down. And that's happening for the reason because they start feeling themselves excluded.
Yes.
Because company ownership, they understand, they start to deprioritize them. Because like this whole agendas only work into the situation of a very flourishing economy. And like the way it used to work before is that, all right, I'm a boss of a successful company, and some person shows up and they're like, you need to implement this inclusion thing, which effectively means I need to lower down the threshold of people to enter my company, expand my education program, my interns program, and basically open the doors for more people, which I would need to educate. And when you have a lot of money, you can compensate on the loss of the production because these people would be trained by people working at the same time, right?
Sure.
Now it cannot happen. Now it just doesn't work. Now you literally got in a situation, they show up on your door and you're like, you need to get 20 more interns with no skills and your employees need to use them. Yeah. And you're like, we can't do that. So fuck off. You're secondary at this point. You're a distraction. Your agendas are a distraction. We're fighting for survival. And those are the conversations that are happening in between the leadership of the companies, leadership, leadership and people who are activists, basically, because activists are already getting derailed at this point because they are irrelevant. So that's what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I think the industry is, I mean, you're going to say I'm black pill, but I think the industry is almost at the point of too far gone. I think a lot of it is. I do. I do. I see what Atreus got.
Well, I mean, I don't have too much evidence to go off. I think Alex would know better than I do, but I mean, even that screenshot you posted in today, I don't know if anything happened outside of that, but if that was a real person that's developing that game, I think there's people in the industry, they might not be as loud, obviously, because they don't want to lose their job.
Yeah.
I don't think it's dead.
Well, I see examples. Okay, Gooch. All right.
No, I was just gonna say, and COVID sped it up dramatically.
Yeah,
big time, like 300% to 1,000%. Like it pushed it to like a max limit. And now we're feeling the effects of it.
Yeah, that's why they placed it in there in the first case. Like all these cataclysmic events, right? It could be a pandemic, it could be an attack, whatever it is. It's a reason. Right, to infuse liquidity into the market and at the same time to regulate to regulate internally how the distribution is going to look like, aka firing people, automatizing processes, and replacing them, with weaker people that are less skilled and cost less money. They think they can control, but just giving them these little niche assignments. But the problem is when you don't have quality, like these people are showing, that they are also turning the ones off that should support the system because it's so bad to work with them. And you can't keep up with that type of arrogance, and at the same time with that non-professionalism, because that arrogance is actually based on insecurity and not on
exactly.
I can do something, I have skills, and that's why I'm arrogant. No, it's based on insecurity. And so whenever you're trying to kind of get into a constructive argument with these people and try to kind of find a way to kind of at least kind of extract some quality out of them, they will attack you and claim, whatever they claim on that day, whatever their horoscope told them to do, instead of just kind of understanding that there are some valid points and they should be listened to and worked on. Instead, they kind of not all of them, of course, some of them can actually work. I also work with some people that we would claim being woke, and they're actually okay workers, but most of them are a complete catastrophe for sure.
Right.
Hey, Alex, I have a question for you. You said you were in the game industry for 25 years, right?
Yep.
How many female programmers you worked with in that time?
For some time, I think that lack of inclusivity, it's a bit of an overestimation in general. I mean, I would say that I definitely worked with a lot of very talented female artists. Art departments were typically packed with women. It's in my experience, it's been a women-dominated environment. In a lot of cases.
Not surprising either.
Yeah, engineers. I worked with a couple of very talented female engineers. I would say, as an observation, because I've been running a couple of companies, they are an extremely good and super well organized middle to senior engineers, not lead engineers, but more. It's just women in work is just in general more sustainable than men. Men are spiky, they have this. Excitement, and inspirations and stuff, but if you want to something that being done sustainably, it's typically women do that better. For management and administration and marketing, always been female dominated environment in some sense, it's not like it's never been an issue really. I mean, it's been an issue way back in the day when we were talking about this collective of dudes at someone's garage, just sitting there making games, scratching their balls, drinking whiskey, 6 of them making homo jokes. Yeah, I mean, but that's your every bootstrap in tech in general, and that's you cannot really talk about this type of organizations as an example because they're just a bunch of friends doing shit, right? Women doing the same things for whatever they've been doing. I don't know, we're not included into a lot of female conversations, which people forget.
Not surprising either.
And then it's like I said, it's never been that much of a huge issue. I mean, but it's often a case as well where a lot of women they come up and they start to try to do stuff, and then they're this is just not my thing. It's a well-known scientific fact that men are mostly oriented into things like objects, and female are more about human and relationships in general, and they're much better than us in that sense. And this is the reason why men are mostly engineers, and they're trying to lean into these things, right? I mean, and even if you provide the equality of an opportunity, an equality of access, a lot of people who would try it in game development, and this is in between two genders, I've been trying to hire a lot of people for my career, a lot. I'm talking about I hired probably 700-800 people for the career and fired 400, whatever, and I would say that a lot of people, who would go, it's just people who would not be able to keep up into demands on the game development industry in general. And it would be maybe 70% women, 30% men as well, because a lot of guys, they would hop in being kind of oh, it's all fun. But ironically enough, a lot of people who are ex-game journalists or ex-PR people who are oh, we're gonna do games now because we played so many of them, and then it turns out that it's actually work. Like, and they're like, it's just too demanding, and they would go away. But it's look, I mean, like, and in a lot of collectives, like we females would have a lot of informal authority as well, because like nerds and engineers and developers, they're like kind of brave in office, like when there are 4 or 5 of them, and then there is a girl shows up, like, and she like puts all of that shit in order. I mean, like, and if she has the personality, she becomes kind of mom for all of those people, and they're like, oh, respect her immensely. Like, and she would be like an informal boss, basically, like just dealing with all of the shit in office. Like, that's been happening often as well. So things been kind of organic, like, in my opinion. I mean, like, I can only talk obviously about environments I've been to, like maybe the rock cases, like, which we've been working differently, like, but in general, like, I wouldn't call this a huge issue. I mean, like, moreover, look, I mean, like, because like it's been a situation where there's been actual lack of skillful people for a very long time, and you would be really looking for very talented engineers and stuff. And I would talk to other friends and colleagues and people from other studios. Like, I would fucking hire anyone who can code well, like anyone, a fucking woman, a man,
meritocracy, right?
Alien, like a fucking person who goes on a Friday, get cooked up and fuck black goat in a motel room. I don't give a shit. If that person can code well, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in their fucking personal life at all.
I think I got someone for that.
So much of a
Yeah.
Here you go, right? Like, and so it's all skill based, like in reality. Like, one of my best hires ever. Like, I've been hiring through the whole of the career, being just a dude, like, who basically showed up in the office. He's been 21, and he worked only for a year in the industry. Was no all this bullshit, like 5 years AAA, whatever. He showed up in the office and he just brought in 5 shooter maps done in Unreal Engine 3 at the time. Like, and we hired him. And he turned out to be better than a lot of experienced people, because he just showed up with a bunch of actual stuff, and he's been talented, and he showed some examples he's been doing at home. I mean, like, and he very quickly became chief level design and then chief technical art, like, in a company.
Wow.
So it's all actually very inclusive.
Yeah, but they don't want you to know that.
Yeah.
So, but what I was gonna say is to kind of go back to whether or not the industry is fucked or not. There's a story that recently came out that I covered. I don't know if you guys heard of No Rest for the Wicked.
Yes.
Yeah.
That game looks fire, I will admit.
No, it ain't just look. The game is fire.
It's an action RPG, Dark Souls style gameplay, but with like Diablo kind of isometric view.
Sick.
But apparently, so they had an employee there that was running his mouth. I think the guy's name is Alexander Brazzi or something like that. And, he was trying to go down the whole DEI rabbit hole and basically say how it's important, blah, 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 and just shill for it, essentially. And was giving his company a bad rep. And a lot of people were reporting on it, myself included. Well, come to find out, the CEO said, no, fuck that. And shit like this gives me a little bit of hope. So the CEO for No Rest for the Wicked goes by the name Thomas Mahler, which I think this is the guy that commented on my YouTube channel, but I don't know if that's true. Apparently he fired the guy.
Awesome.
And he fired him. Awesome. He fired him beforehand. And unfortunately, this guy is still running his mouth. What happened?
Preemptive fire.
You still need based CEOs. 100%.
Yeah, this guy Alexander. Sorry, go ahead. If you were running.
No, I was gonna say if I was running the parent company that owns Kotaku at this point, I'd just clean house, for example. Just the whole lot.
Yeah, but you'd have nobody left at that point. I mean, it's fucking. You might as well just get rid of Kotaku.
That's it. I'd close the company. Yeah, I'd just be like, fuck this. You guys have nothing but trouble.
This
Media, shut down Kotaku, just hire us and just have Saturday Night fucking Hypnosis.
Damn, can you finish articles?
This is a totally different thing, though. Because with Kotaku, I think Kotaku is just way too far gone, right? But this you can kind of get the idea that it's not too far gone by the way the CEO is speaking, where he essentially said he fired him. Okay, this person's not affiliated with Moon Studios in any way whatsoever anymore. And he said, we contracted him for a short stint, and he was fired for bringing nothing but friction into our team. Just an FYI. So that team, unfortunately hired one person who was drinking the Kool-Aid, and they got rid of the rot before the rot took over. That's kind of like how I'm seeing this. So that shit kind of gives me hope. You know what I mean? Like there's some studios out there, they may not be AAA studios, which is fine. Not everything got to be AAA. I find a lot of AA games good, but yeah, it's good to see a studio say, oh shit, this person is not all there in the head, or they're not looking out for the product first, which I think a lot of these activist community managers and activist fucking developers and everything, they're not looking at the product first. They're worried about their message first. And if you get in the way of their message, then all of a sudden it becomes a problem. So I'm happy to see that they got rid of the guy before it became an issue.
You need to create your authority from something, and if you don't have a skill, you try to build it based on your personal influence on people, trying to indoctrinate them with some level of ideology. Because like otherwise you don't have the purpose in the company in general. So you need to create this whole thing to define your personality and define your relationship and define your place in the company. I mean, like, and this is what they do exactly. But this process typically produces a lot of friction, like because people don't generally like it. I mean, like, and people, and it also presumes a definite level of dividing people in between each other. Like, if you have noticed, like all of these people that are running the same narrative, they're like, it's either you're with us or you're against us. Like, and it always happens. Like, so
yeah, they are so standoffish like that. They constantly have that attitude. If you're not part of the solution, as they define it, of course, only they define it that way, then you are part of the problem, and you need to be wiped out, suppressed, marginalized, eradicated, whatever.
Yeah, it's an extremist mindset.
It is, and then they call us the extremists. Fucking idiots.
Yeah. Well, they don't have like I said, for them, message is number one above anything else. And when you have these people who, unfortunately, like Alec was saying, it seems like a lot of these women are in some form of like community management relationship, or just managers in general, like controlling HR, PR, who really knows, like basically people relations. When you have these women who are in charge of that, well, in this case, it was a man, but let's be real, like 95% of them are women. When you have these people who are all for the message first, yeah, it can get very, very bad for your company very quickly, because what's going to happen is the people that you hire to foster a community, they're going to do the opposite. If that community that they're fostering is not believing the message they're trying to put out, yeah, you're going to have a problem, and they're going to cause the problem. Like
I think the real problem is, to be honest with you, too many of these video game companies is out there in California. The problem, like you,
Canada,
on multiple fronts, it is in that realm, especially when you talk about entertainment. It's much easier to hire somebody than it is to fire somebody, because if you fire somebody, you're dealing with like a potential lawsuit or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Out here in Georgia, y'all need to come out here to Georgia, man. We fire niggas when we wake up in the morning. Like we wake up, I think I'm gonna fire somebody today. Like it's an at will stay. Like I'll be firing people left and right. Oh, you trying to put the message over our product? Like, and this is what feed families. That's the thing you got to think about. Your product, your business, you got a lot of people under you that gotta feed their family. So if you working for not Shift Up, but the Arrowhead right now, and you're flying high, everybody getting bonuses because Helldivers is killing it, and then Sony come out here and fuck around and find out, now you got to go and lay people off, because
But it's also Californian, like business is basically like, if you are like in games or related in California, it means that you took a lot from the fucking Hollywood, just automatically. You took a lot of practices from fucking Hollywood practices. And one of the Hollywood practices is, interestingly enough, fucking people on money, especially tourists, right? Like Sony as well. Like you get them in, they build an office, and you start to rack up the prices, play the game, and just do your own shit. Of operating Californian law and just mindset, and then you have bad shit happen, and people who participate in this whole gig, they just finish it and then go somewhere else to take someone else's money. So they're not even get upset, like in general.
It's hideous.
Okay, well.
No, it's just Hollywood practices. They also have like clicks and whisper networks and all of that bullshit, which is also what's found its way into everything now, every facet of entertainment, including gaming. But again, We're not
Right.
normies. We can
You
see
know,
this
what's
stuff.
funny? You know what's funny? I mean, like, and Hypnotic mentioned it. You know, like from the point of view of that they're losing power, like all of this access parts of it, all of this whispers and stuff and shit. It's just completely fucking irrelevant at this point, because like previously it used to be, oh, we'll start to write bad shit about you and never get invited into awards and shows and conferences and dinners and stuff. And now you're like, oh well, fucking thanks God, you know, because like that shit was always boring. I mean, like, and now it's not that even something ever decided that. I have a quick question for all of you in the chat. Can you like give me one case when you bought the game because it won some fucking game award or something?
Nope.
No one did.
No, literally never. No,
No one
not
ever
true.
did.
I've done it one time. Back when I was like in mid high school when Fallout 3 came out, and I was very unfamiliar with the Fallout games, and because I saw now it wasn't because it won Game of the Year, but the Game of the Year edition was like I was like, oh, it's got all the DLC. It says Game of the Year edition, and I bought because of
that's not because it won the award. That's because it was bundled with a bunch of extra shit.
Sequence, right?
It's a financial incentive.
Yeah, have you bought a game? Have you bought a game because like you read in some like game website at this point? Whoever fucking read game websites at this point? You know, like people watch
magazines maybe. I used to
magazines used to be the thing
listen
back
to
in the day.
magazine journals. Yeah, but it's word of mouth. If someone tells me a game's awesome, then I might check it out. That's what happened with Fallout, although I'd already played the original.
And moreover, most of the successful business, which are actually in our context and in context of most of the developers, been built into simple principles. You know, like it's having a full control over your product and having a direct access to your audience. These are two things, right? You know, like, and you have a lot of magnificent examples, like last one being like Manor Lords. I mean, like the guy sold like 1 million copies in 24 hours. For like $30 or something, you know, like, and he done this game alone at Unreal Engine, you know, like with some friend, publisher, whatever, you know, like that's a good example. And we have a lot of this example over a year being like Pell World and Shrouded, Little Company, like this one, right? You know, like a bunch of other smaller indie games, you know, like typically being like 300,000 to 500,000 units. Stellarblade is done by the Shift Up, which is an extremely wealthy company, but this is their first console game, so they're like super rich indie, you know, like can be somewhat qualified. And in the juxtaposition to that, what are the super successful AAA games this year you can remember of? You know, like I'm like, oh, not really a lot. You know, like
not anymore.
Number one, really. Well, some Japanese games, Dragon Dogma is probably a success, right? The Tekken probably a success, you know, like, but those are the Japanese games which are not Western industry in general, you know.
And
like
they have previous iterations that people are fans of, so you know, you have that built-in fan base.
And this is the state of the industry, basically. I mean, like, and my big question is, you know, like, is that so people trying to intimidate other people with their some mythical power and knowing other people, and the other question, like, and or else what? What are you gonna do at this point?
Right.
You know, like really, like because this void and this nothingness will become more and more of a thing. Like Coach was saying, you know, like the more economy changes to the minus, the more a bigger issue it becomes for entertainment in general. And I think that the first industry which will collapse super quickly, it's gonna be movies, and it's gonna happen this summer. Because
without a doubt. But this is just to close this topic out. This is a prime example of someone who was smart enough to cut the bad PR press quickly, right? They saw it spinning. They saw it spinning real quick. And this person decided to comment, the CEO, like not even just a regular work, like we're talking about the CEO of the company, decided to comment on multiple different YouTube channels and saying, with the same statement, basically saying, hey, yeah, this guy's not involved with our team anymore. We fired him, etc. Because this is a YouTube comment that they're showing on the screen. Like the writer of this article got this comment on his YouTube channel. So that's a great example of what to do when you get backlash. Cut the shit out.
You know what I wish he would have did though?
What?
Yeah.
I really wish instead of commenting on, and this goes for all developers, because I like us getting our little win in the little pop culture war and all, but I really wish he would have DM'd you that instead of putting it, because you know who's going to come after him for stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he posted on Twitter too, just like publicly. But I think he was trying to do extra damage control by just going to different channels talking about it. He probably searched in YouTube, you know, Moon Moon Studios, and whatever came up that was negative, he probably put that comment on, because I'm almost positive this is the same comment that I got on my. Remember, I sent it to you guys in the chat. I'm like, this guy.
Yeah. It was literally read like this, almost word for word.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
this
but
is the
even
same
still,
guy.
what I'm saying is, what I advocated for when I talked about farm folks or whatever the case may be. What I said was,
that's what I was gonna say, like a tumor.
Don't even like ignore the shit on both sides. And if you have to say something behind closed doors, because I'm not interested in you becoming a part of this culture war. Let us fight this culture war on your behalf. I feel like he should have DM'd that to some creators and let us like make videos.
Wait, can you explain that, Atreus? Because don't we want these people on our side fighting the culture war with us?
No, I don't want them on any side. What I want them doing is doing what they want. They fucking signed up to do, which is making video games. That's what I don't like. Listen, I don't care for you to be on my side. I don't want to know what your politics are. I don't care about none of that. What I want you to do is focus on doing what you signed up to do, which was make video games. If you agree with me, fine.
Yeah.
Cool. But the moment you come out and choose a side, you divide somebody.
Yeah.
That's true. Although it's good for morale for our side.
For the sake of their teams and the product developers actually should be politically neutral.
Yes.
So let me ask you a hypothetical then, though, or maybe not hypothetical, but let me posit it different, because I get what you're saying, and in a way I do agree. You know, being politically neutral is absolutely the way to go. However, we have seen all the ideological left-leaning rot that has infested the entertainment system as a whole. So if we were to get some of these developers and some of these creators come out and say we are against this, does that not incentivize other creators to be against it as well? That's not them coming out and saying, "Hey, let's be right wing." But maybe that will get other developers.
The goal is because you're starting to
entirely out, right?
But you're slowly seeing it all die out with the other industries, and you're like, it's fresh right now in the Gamergate 2, and you're going to see the swing start to happen as it's starting to happen with the movies and the comic, and you're starting to see it happen with like the anime and all that stuff. It's going to swing the other way. That's just natural. I think you just got to let it play out.
If it was going to swing the other way, none of us would be doing what we do every video, every day. We all know it's going to swing the other way. The fact of the matter is, will it swing the other way before it is too far gone, before it's dead, before the industry, before all these studios are bankrupt, before games are a non-issue? Like, let's be real.
But that's what you want. That's what you want.
Let it burn, brother. I mean, we're not, let it burn. I mean, it's something you would be built on. It's someone asking us, like, isn't it the thing that you spent 25 years? Don't you want to go and say it? I'm like, why would I? Like it's been a good run, but it's a natural way of things. If it's been led to the closed corner, and it's basically the only way for it to die for something new to born, then this is fine.
Then why do we do what we do? Like that might not apply to you, Alex. I'm not sure, but for Hypno, for Atreus, if we're okay with letting it burn, then why make the videos we make? Why make the content we make?
The point of what we do,
it's informing. It's informing. I mean, we want the audience to know. I mean,
the point of what we do, like the same way a debate with Alyssa Mercante would go. I don't care about changing your mind or any of that shit. What I want to do is present you with information that the mainstream people aren't giving you because they're trying to control you and control the way that you think. But we're providing alternative information, what we believe is the truth. Hopefully it is the truth.
Why are we providing that information? Why?
To make pop culture great again.
Bingo. Yeah. No, Ryan, you got it. To make it great again. But we can't do that if we just let the industry die.
Yes. You yourself are doing it. You're not watching Disney. You refuse to do Disney. You're doing exactly like
there's there is more than one way to Disney. Well, there is more than one way to create a neutral ground. You could have this, come by be politically neutral. Another way to create neutrality, which is not many people like this, is to have two competing extremes of equal strength that balance each other out.
Basically,
but it's also, outside of practical goals, we all have the same meta goal, because everyone who are here and a lot of people who are at the cultural war and stuff, right? Those are the people who for a long time been a part of the bullshit game. and for their personal intellectual comfort. You know, like these people are just coming out and start talking things as they are because like it empowers them. Like honesty empowers them basically, you know, like to feel better, you know, like and to do great shit, right? I mean, like and that's like it's a practical altruism, if you will. I mean,
And
like
plus,
why
every
not?
system has to fall. Every kingdom has to crumble. Every empire has to, you know, kind of implode in order to be, reprocessed, rebuilt, revolutionized. Everything that is RE or RA, that recycle mechanism, right? It only can come from beforehand kind of destroying, and that doesn't, I mean, even if it sounds harsh or you know, violent, that doesn't necessarily need to be harsh or violent or anything. And yes, the industry, like we said many times, in the 60s, Hollywood was that, guys. A lot of filmmakers, they were just basically sitting at home. There was nothing to shoot. The studio lots were empty. Only WB had like a little animation studio going. That was pretty much it. That was wrapping up a Fred Astaire movie.
There was no more. The
huge
musicals
crisis,
were dying,
and
the
nobody,
westerns were dying.
and nobody wanted to go back to Hollywood, and still they managed to kind of attract the creative heads back again because they made indie movies. They started to kind of, you know, rethink their production model and everything. And now, I mean, they took so long advantage of us on all, you know, on all horizons of work, that now we're finally coming again to a cycle where we need to destroy, we need to take down the tower of power that was built by us in the first place and our ancestors, because now it has become a monolithic, completely world alienated type of power structure that has its own hierarchy, its own agenda, its own ecosystem, and therefore is not connected with the world anymore. And so therefore it needs to come down.
Coach, I agree with what you're saying completely, but what, to be fair, what you're saying at least is by my understanding is different from what, like, for example, Gooch was saying, because what you're saying is they have perverted something. We need to destroy that perversion and rebuild something new. What sounds like being stated is, if this industry, let's let the industry crash and burn, which if that's what you want to do, I'm okay. I'm not even saying don't do that. Let's, by all means, if you want to let the industry crash and burn, go for it. But if that's what we're going to do, if the industry crashing and burning is inevitable, then why the fuck are we making videos? This stuff's going to crash anyway.
Because we inform people and we encourage people
to
associate themselves with this industrial complex and go and do something as a separate business. Because in many cases, they would just can do that.
It's like a time machine. It wouldn't crash and burn, collapse and implode if we wouldn't make videos about it. If we stay silent, it would still be holding the status quo.
Staying silent is how it got to this point in the first place. There's always been a little slant of politics, you know, in the director's choices of movies or games or whatever else.
Are you kidding?
But at the end of the day,
absolutely.
The end game here is to bring it back to a time or to a state of entertainment where there is as little politics in it as possible, so that it can focus back onto entertainment. Now, I'm not saying you have to completely eradicate politics, but you do have to get it down to a safe background level, if you know what I mean. And the only way really to do that is for them to realize that there are voices out there, just as many, if not more, that disagree with their political uniformity that they've all embraced. And the only reason they were able to embrace it is because they went at it with terminal vigor and aggression, and nobody else stood up and said, actually, I feel the opposite way for so long. So you need both. If at the result of that means that large chunks of an industry burn and crash and destroy themselves, then unfortunately, that's what will have to happen to create a room for the next.
That you're agreeing with me, Will.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just giving you my opinion because everyone else
it will naturally swing the other way. I don't think it naturally will. It won't, or if it will naturally swing the other way, then why are we having streams talking about it? It's not natural.
It's not. You have to push it. Yeah.
Hold on. To answer your question, I'm gonna make an analogy, right? So everybody knows that the dating, everybody's favorite thing to say about dating.
Is making an analogy.
This should be good.
What happened?
Dating. Go on, dating. What were you saying about dating?
No, I was saying that, you know how everything's favorite thing to say nowadays is that the dating pool has piss in it, and like everybody's trying to figure out what's going on with dating. Like dating is imploding, right? And you got all these red pill spaces that showed up on YouTube that pretty much widen the vernacular of the average person to be able to define what it is they're looking at. Like I remember like people talk about in my community dating the way that the women behave. It never occurred to me to describe the women in our community as masculine until I heard a content creator use that term. Oh, that's right. The women are behaving like men. Because I remember used to hearing white men say that, like, oh, women are behaving like men nowadays. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I heard them use masculine with women. What I'm trying to say here is we make these videos because we're giving people we're opening up their eyes to interpret what it is that they're seeing. Because like I tell y'all all the time, I became red pilled when I discovered the quartering, when he pointed out some shit that I thought he was being, the same thing that they call us now, misogynistic, white supremacists, all this stuff. And then I realized it for myself that I don't know if I would have picked up on if I would have just seen it without him pointing it out. Like the whole
that's most of us found a channel that led us into this, I think.
This is also like the YouTube has also become a guide for our youth. Like they're going to learn and listen to us talk about creativity, because creativity is dying, because we got AI, we have everything else.
Not on my watch.
Not in here. But I mean, that's dying. And when you're talking about, naturally swinging, it is going to naturally swing, because what we're doing is natural. We're fighting for what we want, what we believe in. And
what we see as right, just, and fair.
Yeah, so everything.
It's not natural means it would happen on its own. It's not happening on its own. We are making
it requires us. The natural order of things has been disrupted by these political activists, trash bags, scum. Just sit there and try to steer society away from what is natural and what happens now. You just have to look at the gender debate to prove that. They're trying to build a false reality on top of another one. The only way to tear it down is to make just as much noise, if not more noise, to get everybody who's confused in the middle to go, oh, so it is okay to actually feel this way then, and reject this shit.
I swung unnaturally. I agree it swung unnaturally, and we are using the same unnatural means to swing it back.
It's not true. No, we're not. It's not true. We're not perverting.
I'm not taking the L when you guys are wrong. I'm not taking the L for something that's not an L.
But it's also
perverting.
I didn't say that.
I am trying to boil down.
Everybody's trying to talk at the same time.
Yes. And I just like to say, I like to boil down things. What content creators are great at doing, folks, is highlighting the problem. If there's no problem, we can't highlight it. X-Men 97 is a great example of this. There was no problem.
Reviewing games.
A few of us took the L's. I haven't seen the original, the latest one, so it's not my place to talk about it. But if there was no problem, no creator could highlight it, none of us would grow unless we had our own personal niches or we played games that we enjoyed or pursued other projects. But one of the reasons why so many pop culture content creators have become prominent is because there is a problem that needs highlighting. Now, the second step is to find the solution to that problem. And shows like this, where we talk about highlighting the problem, and then from that, agreeing to disagree or agreeing on a certain thing, that's how we find the solution to that problem. And then the third step, which is essential, because without it, you could just do the first two till the end of days and nothing changes, is to be the change you want to see. Eric July did this with the Rippaverse. Whether you love him or hate him, he's done it. He's hit that third step. Many creators don't hit that third step. They go around in fucking circles until the end of days and nothing gets
if you're only reacting, you'll never accomplish anything. Eventually, you need to be proactive.
3 steps to victory. Highlight the problem, find the solution, and be the change you want to see. Thank you all very much for watching. This has been reality based.
I would say that not like people think that the third step means you got to go create something in order to be the change you want to see. You guys got to understand too, there is also power in getting to a certain size where your size creates change just from simply speaking. Like sometimes you don't got to go make a comic book to create change. Sometimes when you hit 1 million subscribers that end up getting invited to Fox fucking News to start talking about
I knew it was going to be Nerdrotic,
to start talking about
he's writing a book. So I don't
but even I mean writing a book. My point is when you get My point is when you get to a certain size where now just you talking, you were doing the same thing you were doing at 200K subscribers. Now you're at 1 million subscribers, and now you're going on Fox News and you're getting invited to talk to places, and now you're doing the same thing you were doing, you're still making change. You don't got to make a fucking comic book, or you got to do whatever to make a game to make change. Sometimes, yeah, talking about it in circles gets to a point where that circle becomes so big, then now that circle is enacting change just from simply speaking in that circle.
All the
Yeah, I
circle gets
completely
so
agree.
big, it turns into a bubble and then blows up. How many times have creators gathered together, their communities have grown like wildfire, and then they agree to disagree one too many times, the bubble bursts and everything fucking collapses.
Well, that
Okay,
happens too.
I just want to clarify something. When I say create something, I'm not talking just like a comic or an animation or a movie or whatever. Like this, Hypno, what you've done, you've created this panel, you've created this stream. You're a creator. Like that, like you're part of that group.
Not according to some people.
That's bullshit, because you've created something special here.
I'm just fucking around.
Because like, look at the people. Like, you're on fire, dude. You're like, every night you're freaking killing it. Like, you've created something really special here. So like, it doesn't matter if you have 10 subs or like 40,000 subs. If you're creating something on YouTube, if you're creating a comic, you're creating an animation, creating a movie, it doesn't have to be physical. It just, you're doing something. And that's what's lost with a lot of the youth, is they're afraid to create anything because they blame it on anxiety. They can't.
It gets bastardized.
Why do you disagree?
We agree 100%.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree?
I don't disagree with the fact that Hypnotic has made something special, but I do disagree with this idea that I can just get on YouTube in front of a camera, talk some shit, and then I've contributed to the solution of the problem. Because that creates the bad.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're being a creator. I'm not saying, but you're still creating.
In the early days, you're not the draw.
No,
in the beginning, the topic is the draw.
Hold on,
and if you manage to hang in there long enough, you become the draw.
Because this is where, unfortunately, you're making me defend actual creators. Part of the art is creating a world for people to come immerse themselves in. We all come here every day because we can have real discussions. But to create art is something completely different. Now, I'm not saying you got to go out there and make comic books or make movies, but you can be a contributor to it. You can be an investor into an indie project. You can go, you don't have to even put finances into it. You can go and volunteer. This is what I advocate for audiences to do. You may not be able to financially contribute to the art, but if you go and be a helping hand towards that art, I believe in that. But to sit up here and pretend like me talking shit in front of a camera for 10 years and getting 1 million subscribers is the same thing. I'm not doing that.
I mean, to be fair, Atreus, though, you're just factually wrong here, because the definition of art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. We are using our human creative skill, imagination in the form of our improv, our dialogue, our discussion.
That's like saying Joe Rogan's not a creator. That's like he's created this podcast. That he does.
The podcast.
I think Joe Rogan is really good at what he does. I wouldn't necessarily call him an artist.
He created that. He created a podcast and became
like me,
this
where I
huge
drew
big
all my
thing.
own branding.
It's kind of getting very deep and very oddly specific.
Exactly.
Right?
Hence
like,
the saying,
we're losing at the focus here. You know.
Yes. Well, hence the saying, it takes all sorts to be a content creator. The most difficult thing for a viewer to be a content creator is to start, then it's to keep on going, then it's to keep on growing.
What are you talking about?
I try to boil this down.
I wanted to hear them continue to drive home this topic, and I think Alex said that's besides the point. I think that's what he was saying a minute ago.
Well, hold on. I just want to let me finish one thing, and then I gotta catch up on super chats. When you got to understand too, man. Like, well, I didn't use the word artist. I don't know where that came from. Maybe they did before, but I was talking like a creation in general. Artists. Yeah, right. Like when it comes to being a creator, I feel like that in and of itself, when you get to a certain point, is actually doing something, because you got to understand there is a lot of people who watch this stream. There's a lot of people who watch other streams. A lot of people watch different content, and that is their main form of entertainment. That would not be possible if this wasn't some form of created process. Like, why would people want to go to live streams and that be their main form of, like, why would someone want to watch our stream for 3 hours when they could sit at home and watch a fucking movie for 3 hours instead? A lot of people choose to do this over that. Now, not in the mass scale, but it is getting to a point where this is becoming the new norm. I mean, if Joe, like, to bring up these guys, like with Joe Rogan being as big as he is, yeah, all right. He's just a guy doing a podcast. If you want to simplify it down to that kind of metric, he's just a guy doing a podcast. But he's a guy doing a podcast that millions of people choose to listen over that versus anything else. Is he not a creator even in the basic form at that point?
I'm just not
certainly an entertainer.
I'm not for okay, if you want to use the word creator, then fine. You know, of course
that's what I was using. I wasn't using.
I mean, no,
artist.
I'm just saying I just don't want to blur the lines between what it means to be an artist and I guess a creator, because my whole thing is, if you want to use that argument, for some years niggas was uploading videos of cats and getting millions of views. I mean, does that make them an artist? I don't believe so.
Hold on,
content creator, Atreus.
How about I'm talking about the space that we're in now, like what
I'm using. Obviously, I was using
a 10-second cat video where the cat is doing fucking circles or whatever. Yeah, it's funny, but you only got the person for as long as the video is, which is only a couple seconds. What I'm saying
it has no meaning either, really.
What I'm saying is the stuff that we're doing here and the stuff that people are doing on YouTube or trying to do, and the way things have changed and how people are focusing on live streams now over standard forms, I guess you could say, of entertainment. A lot of people are genuinely becoming creators, and I feel like that word does get thrown around a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Like it definitely does, without a doubt. There's some people out there that have YouTube channels that I just feel like they're not creative. Right? Like if you clip my show, for example, if you clip my show and you just upload it to your channel with nothing else to it, you're not a creator. You're just
there we go.
You're just a clipper. But
well, yeah.
But there is a difference, obviously, right? There's different tiers, right? Like to what this is, and those people aren't creators. But I think what people like Joe Rogan, I think people like Neurotic, I think people like Critical Drinker, myself, you guys, I would label you as creators because you take the time and effort to do something with whatever message you're trying to put out there. Like that's what you're doing.
So even with me, I've never called myself a content creator. Like I literally upload videos of me scrolling.
You just did.
You say you're a professional.
That's like saying you never call yourself black. You don't have to call yourself that. That is factual.
Can we focus on what I'm saying? I say that I'm a professional shit talker. That's what I call myself. I don't call myself a content creator.
But that's kind of a brand as well.
Can I finish my sentence? I don't call myself a content creator because I don't see any creativity in uploading a video of myself talking over myself scrolling through the internet. I don't see any creativity in that. So that's just the way that. So when you guys say creator or whatever the case may be,
would you call yourself an entertainer?
Yeah,
I am an entertainer. I am entertaining.
That's being creative.
Yeah, is an entertainment a form of creativity?
You're creating a conversation. You're creating a conversation. People are engaging. That is called a creator.
You're transforming the internet through your lens and then giving it to the audience.
Did you watch Whose Line Is It Anyway growing up?
Whose line is it anyway? It's
improv show.
But I don't remember.
It doesn't have to go that much existential as it's currently going. I mean, like, we're just entertaining people to the best of our ability, and people decide if this is fun and interesting and join or not. And it's just how
which a lot of people you are. It's okay. All right, guys, hold on. Let me catch up. Let me catch up on super chats. I'm so far behind. It was a very interesting conversation, though. Considering we're in an echo chamber, we all agree with each other apparently. But where am I at here? Let me catch up. Fuck Jesus! Oh my God, I'm so far behind.
Fuck Jesus and oh my God, that's not bad.
That's a hell of a combo, right? Oh, here we go. Stormbringer gifted 5 Hypnotic memberships. Thank you so much, Stormbringer. I appreciate you. We got Maximus Timaeus for 5, says this whole Helldivers situation has made me very wary of games on Steam, which are also present on PlayStation.
Yep.
I mean, listen, that's the whole trust thing that we were talking about before. And I even said it myself. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to buy. I genuinely am not. It's not that I don't know. I genuinely am not going to buy another PlayStation game on Steam. I'll just buy it on PS5. That's just the truth. Like, I have both. I can do that. But for the people, there's going to be people out there that are not going to buy it on Steam anymore because of this, because they don't have a console, so they're not even going to bother. They don't want to link their accounts. That's the whole thing. How the fuck you say this? Naruto Kikun, I think I said that right. For $4.99, says I'm reminded of Google Plus instituting a real names policy a few months after release, which ended up destroying the platform. Yeah, wow, I remember that, and it's true. I mean, see, the problem is it's the Uber Eats method, right? It's the Uber method, which is create something new, do it at the cheapest price there is, Do it at the easiest method there is. Get as many people to get addicted to how easy it is your product is to use and how cheap it is. And then once you feel like you have the market cornered, you try to do some fuck shit. And usually you can get away with it, but sometimes you can't. I feel like Sony really is at that point where they felt like they could, and they found out they couldn't. Levistro for 5 says potential money Steam and Sony could lose if all negative reviews requested refunds right now and were approved, which is $50 times 158,791 reviews. So it's almost $8 million.
Yeah.
Woof.
That's pretty wild. And keep in mind, earlier today when I did a video on it, it was at 122,000. So that means between then and the stream going live, 30K reviews dropped, which is fucking nuts. I can only imagine what it's going to be at tomorrow. But I guess we'll see.
Momentum, like it's not slowing down.
Yeah. Think about it. This game had more negative reviews in 24 hours. It had double that of the Stellarblade petition in 24 hours. And that petition's been going on for a while. Yeah,
we've been on stream.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. It's insane. Artelito became a member. Thank you so much, Artelito. I appreciate you. Subtle Defense for 2. This is to buy Will T reparations from my kin.
Hey, thanks. I could do with some caffeine. Yeah, I'm pretty knackered.
There you go. Trace, you killed that whole bottle, goddamn.
You see it, Adam? That's what I'm drinking. Champagne.
No wonder you have L takes.
You think that you're not creative.
No, you just got bitched by Ryan.
You just got roasted by Ryan.
Anyway, Subtle Deviancy for another 2. My donation to the Atreus Alyssa Hotel Room Fund. Wow.
The rate is $50.
$2.
Yeah, apparently it is. Wasn't it something like $50?
Hey, what hotel you trying to send us to? That sounds like a roach infested. It's gonna be
sounds like her kind of gig.
Yep. Go on.
Sorry, T-Chat for $6.02 for Sonya to keep her second best waifu status and the Canada emojis. Yeah, she definitely has that status. Subtle Demon T for 2 says my donation for Jay's Gooch's bleaching and whitening kit. That's a terrible image, man. God damn. Subtle Deviancy. What the fuck, man? Come on.
That ain't subtle.
We're supposed to be men of culture. What the fuck is this shit?
Cultural fucking war, isn't it?
We got James Zopp for a 20. Says that CEO for the farm game was blindsided by Black Girl Gamers making a huge stink on their Discord. Then Alyssa Mercante twisted the interview to fit her needs. Dread Roberts YouTube has a video interview. Yeah, man. So we didn't even get to talk about that because we talked about content creation, which was odd. But what just like a really quick thing. What Alyssa Mercante did to that CEO is fucking wild. I mean, the fact that she is out there literally just be like, well, gotcha, bitch. Like that's literally what it is. It translates to that. She's gloating. She's like, well, them's the takes, And then she flat out, what'd she say? She said, you don't get to dictate how I represent you. That is,
she said,
crazy.
I'm not a service. You don't get to dictate how I represent you. Goodbye.
Also, as a fucking linguist by education, it's like a lot of people like listen a bunch of other journals, like every time, like they discuss something like it, they start like subtly hint that you could pay them if they would be your PR. Like, notice that shit, right? Where they're like, oh, you don't get me what to tell unless you pay me. I'm not your PR manager. And then there's been a couple of other guys. They're like, it would be a good idea, like to avoid the situation only if you would pay professional PR. It's literally like the same thing as a dentist goes into the park in the evening and starts like hitting people on the teeth with the crowbar, like to give them service next day. Like it's like all of these businesses are built on racket, basically. Like
and it's crazy because she'll be on Twitter all the time talking about journalistic this, integrity, blah blah blah. Like, oh, you don't know what it means to be a journalist, blah. And you seriously just admitted that you're going to represent anyone that you speak about in any manner that you so choose because no one can dictate how you're going to represent them. That's crazy. Yeah. Like you should represent people based on their words. But unfortunately, we know she's not going to do that.
That's it. And then she totally fucking mocked him publicly as well. She said you got pulled into a culture war because you don't have a CM who knew that titty physics wasn't the move, chief, then apologized. Then the Gooners got mad, you apologized, and I interviewed you. Them's the breaks.
Well, that's cope though, because she doesn't care about the community manager thing. What it is that she interviewed this man who she knew was naive, right? And then she noticed that he was riding the fence. And because he was riding the fence, she took advantage of that, painted what he was saying in the light of the side of the fence she's on. And then when he came out and said, well, you misrepresented me, she's like, well, them's the breaks. Nobody told you to, this is the culture war. Nobody told you to ride the fence, essentially. But again, he's naive. Alex, what you said?
You don't have to ride any fence or choose any side. You could have just said, these niggas mad. Let me get back to making video games.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
And that's actually what they did say, though, at Trey's. That's the weird thing. Like, I don't understand why he did this interview, because before the interview, they put out a tweet apologizing and saying, we're just going to do better and we want to make great games. That's it. So you already made the statement. You already made the fucking, we're just going to make great games and that's what we want to do statement. So why'd you go talk to this fucking witch? That doesn't make any sense.
They shouldn't have said anything. They should have just looked at their mentions and saw.
They're going to, though.
He must have had his head in the sand when she was trying to dox people on the SBI Discord.
Partially answering the question, why do we have these videos and meetings? Because I'm telling you that a lot of indie developers who are also unsure and making first steps in the industry still believe that the only way to be highlighted are gaming journalists, and which is completely not true. And it takes people to explain how industry really works, to basically for them to understand their alternatives and their other ways to put themselves into the audience.
Which is sad when you think about it.
Leon, what's she saying that?
She calling people 9 hours ago. I just want to have some fun. Just let you guys know, just from 9 hours ago, all you crusty gamer bros, this is what you're missing out on right here.
Thanks, I'll.
This is worth $50 an hour. Is that?
No, that's what she charges for the Wiimote.
Can I be serious?
You can find a better looking prostitute at a truck stop than what are you talking about?
Can I be serious?
Go for it.
I want to be serious because I know Trey's about to roast her. Have you ever seen someone in their eyes when they are clearly just like everything's tumbling down around them, like their life is spiraling out of control? This bitch has those eyes. If you look at her drinking that bottle, that's the eyes of someone whose life is spiraling.
The eyes of Ellen Page after Ellen Page added a dick. Like,
they're constantly what? I'm sorry. Wait. Hold on. Atreus, what? Constantly cutting their hair off?
What? Yes. There's. I can't remember exactly, but it's always a telltale of a woman's mental state when they start cutting their fucking hair off.
Britney Spears, anyone?
Oh, I was gonna say that. Yeah. And this bitch is dancing on TikTok, acting like she's not insane.
Motherfucker,
you can see just waiting to.
She has the same eyes too.
You have all men are the enemy tattooed on the back of your ass while going on every fucking beta male's platform. Podcast. Like, which one is it, bro? Like, do you hate men or do you not? Why would you go into an industry where most of the niggas who are participating in the industry you hate? It's psychotic. Bro,
you know the answer to that.
Yeah. I believe she thinks we are her baby daddy. And she thinks that video games is the children that we have together, and she's trying to use it against us.
She's trying to get custody.
No. What it is that these women out here that act like this, that say all men are the enemy, blah blah blah, whatever. All men are the enemy unless they can benefit from that man. Then suddenly they're not the enemy anymore. We know that because
that OnlyFans crank back up after they cut off Kotaku. You gonna change that.
Or like she said, she'll go back to sex work. Then suddenly. All men are not, the enemy anymore. So they're always the enemy until they're not. That's basically it. Let me not stay on her too long. I gotta catch up on the rest of this.
No one wants to stay on her for long.
Definitely not.
A minute and 50 seconds.
That's all it takes to get.
You would do it. Do it.
Nah.
Brandon, the anime guy. Member for 6 months. Hypnotic, leader of the army. I have heard rumor this Steam is refunding anyone who asked for refunds on Helldivers winning Hail the Panel. I haven't seen full-fledged confirmation of this, but I would imagine that the people who are probably getting refunds are not in the United States. I would imagine.
Brandon, I don't want a refund. Yeah. I want them to walk that shit back. So I'm giving it a week.
Yeah, Reddit been full of examples, but I think none of them being from United States or England or like anywhere. I mean, like I think it requires validation. This information needs to be checked. I mean, like
I haven't seen enough validation to say that for sure. 60 watt for $5. Didn't Moon. Wow, Studios make Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah,
I
that
freaking love Ori games. I hope their base yeah, they did. They made both those games. They're great games, by the way.
Ori games are so good.
Yeah, great games. Which again, I didn't want any ill will towards them. It's just, once you start saying them shits, you got to talk about it. Snowbird 2701 for 5 says, jokes on the developers. I don't play Helldivers because I'm on Switch. At least new and original Nintendo games don't piss off the fan base.
Man, you playing at 16 frames per second. I don't want to hear that from you.
Snowbird, you're doing shit right. Keep it up.
Listen, Nintendo is in a totally different market, man. I said, Sony knows they're not competing with Nintendo. Nintendo knows they're not competing with Sony. They have their own separate markets. And
Nintendo is cool as well because it's like being a Nintendo gamer is a world of being confident in tomorrow, fucking forever. Because like every year, I mean, like every couple of years, it would be those games about your favorite characters, and they would always respect the canon, and nothing gonna be changed drastically, right? And you would have 2 Super Mario games, like one, a kart game. 2 Donkey Kong games, and 1 Zelda game. You can be 100% fucking sure about it. I mean, that's the beauty of Nintendo. People love that.
Well, I'm curious. I'm curious what's going to happen with the Switch 2, since Nintendo's hiring a DEI department and officer and everything like that. I'm curious to see if that's going to affect anything. I doubt it. I really do doubt it.
I doubt it as well.
But I'm very curious. It probably is going to affect it more so in the translations than the actual production of the game.
But I respect Nintendo for not following any of this bullshit trends. Because Nintendo was not really doing NFTs. They were not doing their metaverse, whatever. Though if someone would, they could easily do that. Like if they would collect all of that and call it, they would have it, right? But they didn't. They just like a super conservative company that respect their clientees, and they just do what they consider to be good for gamers and good games.
I wonder if they're going to release like a Pride Switch or something.
Well, no. By the way, Sony spends all their time ripping off Nintendo. Like Nintendo puts out the Wii, Sony comes out with the fucking PlayStation Move. Nintendo puts out the fucking Switch, and like 7 years later, PlayStation's like, look at our handheld thing where you can take the Joy-Cons off.
Yeah.
Well, they so desperately want to try to tap into that market, but they know it's fucking hard. It's hard. And truth be told, it's not just like the technology that Nintendo uses and how they try to make it about family gameplay, and just all that shit. It's the simple fact that you don't have the IPs, bro. That's what it is. You don't have Mario. You don't have Zelda. You know what I mean? You don't have these games that people are actively looking for on these consoles that they've been playing on these consoles for fucking decades. You don't have it. So you can make your own little joystick move shit all you want, but you still don't got the games that people want to play. So it doesn't matter.
But you do have Last of Us 2, everybody.
You do have that. You do have that. Common People for 5 says, I'm back drunk after my night out. You know what that means, lads. Leon's got long hair. She'll do.
Oh, shit.
Pause.
Gayest thing I've ever heard.
Looks female enough.
Princess.
Well, that escalated quickly. I was not expecting that.
Shit. Wow. Wow.
Wait
All right, we're
so
moving
you'll
on.
say she'll do on Leon, but y'all mean to sit up here and act like you wouldn't say she'll do on fucking Melissa ass? Fuck out of here.
No, with all due respect, I think Leon has less STDs.
Oh,
which STD is it? No, I'm just playing.
Okay.
The trans is like, is it permanent or is it curable?
What tractor?
Yoda the Wise for 2 says, ask Atreus what tractor I should get from my farm. I can't because he ain't gonna play no farm game.
The black powered one.
He ain't gonna play no fucking farm game, man.
When you gonna get that sound? I need it every time.
I gotta get it, man. I've been working on the waifu battle shit so much. I forgot to get sound effects, but I'll get it.
Atreus, when Fart Folks comes out, I'll find out for you too, just to spite Hypno.
Yeah, he is gonna play it. Yeah, Yoda the Wise for 2 says mental image of Atreus and Ryan farming together. I think it's something along the lines of like a whip, cotton, and singing "Wade in the Water." Something
Broken
like
farm.
I'll have to learn to ride a horse.
Wade in the water. All right.
If we grow with coca leaves, then we can talk. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, Coach?
The fucking bird on Leon's head is so based. Settle Deviancy for 2 says this is for another 33 seconds at the Roach Motel.
That's making money. Like,
You're gonna be picking
Nice.
poppies instead of cotton.
Subtle DVT for another 2. Well, we don't want to attract nasty people like Alyssa Mercante.
Fair
I
enough.
don't want to. Adair Soto for 5 says, when I saw this, I coughed from my water. Drink that piece of a woman if she's even a woman.
She does have that 1,000 cocks there, doesn't she?
That's
I'm telling you, look at the eyes. It's all in the eyes, man. If you
That's
ever
true.
just, she's got the eyes of someone who life is just out of control.
Downward spiral.
She's
yeah.
out, downward spiral, exactly. Riding Kage for 2. There is someone who will still smash that. Yeah, we have them on the panel. Sonia Lisette for 10 says, simply to prove that I still super chat Hypnotic.
I'm just trying to figure out who has less hair on their ass, you, Leon, or Melissa.
Probably Leon.
It's a tough one.
I shave. I manscape. Stream spot sponsored by Manscaped.
Didn't want to know. Didn't want to know then. Don't want to know now.
Too much to know. Too much to know. We got 60 watt for 10 says personal grooming and hygiene tend to go out the window when mental instability sets in. It's way easier to chop your hair off than it is to care for long hair.
That's deep.
It's also that a lot of these women that tend to lose their mind. What it is that for some reason they attach like their long hair with something that they're against. It could either be like just
the patriarchy,
maybe the patriarchy, societal beauty standards.
We've seen it in movies for years. Every time a female character, when something traumatic happens to her, what do? They go straight to the mirror, and it's
even in anime they do it.
That's so interesting. Now that you mention that,
yes,
Sakura does that in Naruto.
Every that's why like dating a woman with short hair. Like people always ask me, would you date a woman like with short hair? And the answer is always no, because I know there's something underlying going on there. I've always been taught that a woman's hair is special. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I've always been taught. I don't know what y'all been taught.
You're right.
True.
No, you're right.
Absolutely. They are sensors.
Can confirm.
It's feminine, yeah.
Last but not least, Bio T Wolf 19 for 2 says Morgan beats 18, who beats Leon, who all beat Alyssa. Leon's kind of upset that 18 lost to Morgan.
I was fucking dude. I was
Morgan requested our stream the other
You
day.
popped that in the group chat, and I was walking to the Come and Go to buy vodka while you were doing it. Oh, good. Fucking reason to drink tonight. Like I was irrationally angry.
Yeah, did you say Come and
Sounds
Go?
like that. Is that the motel that someone was paying for?
What the fuck is a Come and Go?
Pause.
It's a gas station in the Midwest.
Inseminate and evacuate.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my god!
That
Yeah.
is you would go to some place called Come and Go. Why am I not surprised?
As well as Come and Go.
All right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, episode 89 was insane. We had a lot to talk about. Again, I want to publicly thank Alec for joining us tonight, man, and having a great time with us. Let's do our outros, starting with Mr. Will of the Fans. Take it away, my good sir.
Yeah, great stream, guys. Sony had this coming. The whole industry had this coming. Visit everybody's channels and consider subscribing, except for me, of course, where there's no consideration necessary. Just hit the button if you're a human who has self-respect and sick of having your intelligence insulted by companies who are supposed to be entertaining you. I'm going to be rescheduling to try and put out 3 to 4 videos every day this week. WTF Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Ryan. WTF Live on Sundays, where in around 10 hours from now we'll be eviscerating Doctor Who, getting ready to crucify the new series that's coming out, with an audience that's 50% outraged by the stupid shit being said by the spoiled refugee who's playing the Doctor and the showrunner who wants to market weird sex to children. Screw them, screw Sony, always screw Disney, screw everybody here. Bye.
Everybody here. Wait, what the fuck?
I just threw it in to be a dick. Sorry.
Company, you know,
It hurt me deep.
This is a wild card, baby.
Coach MC, take it away, man.
You got enough of mainstream media. You got enough of the big system telling you what you should like, what you should go for, what you should create. You got enough of all this bullshit that gets shoved down your throat, and you finally want to break through, and you finally want to.
Yes,
you said shove down throat.
Pause.
Right,
The professional actor there.
The stuff that that gets okay. If you're sick of all this stuff and you want to create in the sense of maybe one day even being an artist and being self-sufficient, and maybe join a club like ours, which I don't recommend you to do because it's really getting at your sanity. But everything else is in the realm of being doable, of being possible, of being achievable over here at the Coach MC studio, where we teach exactly those beautiful things: to be creative, to be an artist, to create your own market. And so therefore we have master classes, we have tons of acting tips videos. You can get in touch with me through a DM and a discovery session, and you can hire me also to audit your material, to help you with your next audition, with your self-tape, with your next creative project. And we have a lot of those beautiful content pieces available on the channel to help you to achieve that next level artist. And and if you're kind of just looking for entertainment, for crazy talks and other conversations, Open Class Doodles is the way to go. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, every Saturday over here with the crazy pen. I want to thank Hypnotic, and I want to thank also Alex for stopping by and enlighten us with really interesting and deep conversations. As always, it's been a blast, an honor, and a privilege. See you next Saturday, and thanks to the chat.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, that was really good. Some of the stuff that Alex has been saying.
It was.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
It was.
Thank you for inviting.
Absolutely. Ryan Roger, take it away.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching the 89th episode of Saturday Night Hypnosis. For those who haven't done already, please like, share, and subscribe to the iconic Hypnotic. I'm sure you will enjoy what he has to offer. We could get rid of him, and 90% of this audience would just disappear. Maybe 95%. But as for me, you can check me out at Ryan Roger Athe. I am the host and founder of Reality Based. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday with this fine gentleman here. I also stream every Tuesday with Coach and Dragon Slayer, who couldn't make it tonight. I recently was on as a special guest of Words' Countercast. Atreus, stop using OBS, which puts the O in BS, and come on StreamYard, and I could be a guest to your show. Same with Gooch if he ever needs a guest. And Aleksey, that's what I'm going to call you. If you ever want to be on Reality Based, no one else pretends to be me, because who the fuck would? But plenty of videos, plenty of shows coming up as we continue this marvelous May. The next show will be reality-based music, where we'll be having Sammy 3-Peat on. So hopefully you will all enjoy that show tomorrow. It's 4 o'clock in the morning in the United Kingdom. Me and Aleksey will probably be getting some sleep in our part of the world. Thankfully not together, because homosexuality
I was just waiting.
So until next time.
Pause.
So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and no other genders, binaries, and all those other fucking degenerates. Bye for now, folks.
It's even worse than saying screw everybody.
All right, Alex, man.
Thank you for inviting, and thank you for the chat. It was super entertaining. A lot of funny stuff over there. I mean, I think that a couple of takeaways I would do here. One of them is what Ryan been telling. About identifying an issue. Making a motion and owning it, moving forward. It's important. I think that it's in general it's important to get more informed, inform other people, and protect your own interest and interest of your community. It's very natural for human in general, and that what defines us in many senses. And I think that this is a big part of what we're doing. Otherwise, it was a lot of very cool laugh, shit, and giggles. I mean, it's been a pleasure being here. I mean, so hope to visit another time. And you're a beautiful audience chat. It's very cool to hang out with you. And the panel guys, it's good to meet you. It's been great. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you again for hanging out with us. I really appreciate it. I know it's not easy spending 3 hours, but thank you for giving us the time.
Very entertaining.
Atreus, stop texting your girl. Let's go.
Where?
Yeah. So I didn't prepare a speech.
I know.
Yeah. Subscribe to the channel, guys. We're going to be watching first view of Invincible. We're starting off at season 1. We had our reaction last week. I posted it on my shorts channel, and so it's been fun. We do watch parties every Friday night, Saturday night. So become a member of the channel. We got some new badges. Y'all gonna see them come up. I'm actually excited about those, and Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep talking our shit, and let's go ahead, Gooch. That's all I have to say.
Chat saying you're texting Alyssa, by the way. Gooch, take it away.
I got $2. Where are you at?
Oh my God.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Yo, what's up, everyone? Come visit Diabolical Souls Presents. This week, I'll be interviewing Mike Barron, the legendary writer, comic book writer. So I'll be having him on the show. Of course, I'll be doing the continuing reviewing Scavenger's Reign. We're doing episode 9, and then Cyberpunk Edge Runners episode 7 on Thursday. So come check that out. Having a lot of fun doing that. It was a blast again being on here with these guys. Everyone in the chat, you guys rock. You guys are great. And Alex, it was awesome getting to know you. It was a really good time. Good conversation. Great conversation. So everyone, take care. Have a great weekend.
Just a quick FYI, a little bit of breaking news. So since we were talking about Ghost of Tsushima, apparently it says from Sucker Punch Productions, thank you for your feedback. Just so you're aware, a PSN account is required for Legends Online multiplayer mode and to use the PlayStation overlay on PC, but it is not required to play the single player game.
Oh, shouts out to you then, because I won't be playing it online any goddamn way.
Yeah.
Just so, because I know people were asking on in the stream. All right, Leon, take it away, man.
They clarified that from watching our stream.
Bro, can you imagine?
Oh, I got one more thing.
God. But
I was going to say thank you to everyone that subbed to the channel. I'm at over 7K.
Yeah.
Atreus, I'm on your ass. I'm coming for you.
How you
anybody has some dirt on Gooch, please DM me.
Bring it.
We're gonna get him screwed up out of here, man.
Bring it. Don't sing it.
I think he's selling crack, man, because I don't understand how he's getting so much subs. It's crazy. It's that white privilege they talk about. Anyway, Leon, go ahead.
Well, it's another one of the books. This is an awesome week. The panel did fantastic, and this is just another episode where at multiple points we disagreed heavily and got to have a dialogue, which just goes to show we are not the echo chamber that actual fandom and organized chaos and then want you guys to believe we are. Then again, you're all watching the show. You're all smart enough not to know that. But I also want to say video games are lifeblood for a lot of us, really nerd culture in general. But when you get someone like Alex on the show, somebody who is entrenched in the actual creation of that art that we've grown up loving, that meant so much to us, and get to hear their perspective, their thoughts, their opinions, it really is an eye-opener. It's one thing to listen to a bunch of sweaty, angry dudes, rip on things for 3 hours every week, but then you get someone like Alex. This is a rare opportunity, so I do want to say thank you. I wish more developers, more people that were in the industry would actually come on shows like this, have these conversations. It is eye-opening, so thank you so much for answering your questions. The whole panel did great tonight. Make sure to sub to every single goddamn one of these people, with the exception of Ryan Roger Athay. No, love you, bro. And then you can come check out my show, my Words of Paradise. I upload at least one video every day covering pop culture with a political spin. Tomorrow probably gonna get a little bit more political than normal. We'll see how it goes. And then I do my live show every Monday from 3 p.m. Central Time to 6 p.m. And then my solo show which is not always a solo show as it turns out, every Friday at midnight, give or take. It's the Neon Leon. So join the Countercast. Check out the videos. I would love to have you there. Check out the Discord. And thanks again, Hypno, for getting this in there. It's been an awesome week.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Don't pick the bear. Don't pick the bear.
Oh, no, not only don't pick the bear. Actually, go a step further. If you were with a woman that picked the bear, fucking leave her. She's not worth it.
I had to get it in at least once this week. That shit's been crazy.
It's been pretty wild. All right, guys. Well, listen, episode 89 was awesome. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Thank you to everybody who liked the stream. I think we hit record likes. Thank you for everybody who shared it. We hit record concurrent viewers. Thank you for everybody who took the extra step to donate. I greatly appreciate it. Just really quick, next week, I think if everything goes well, I believe we will be having Savvy on the stream this Saturday coming. So make sure you guys stick around for that, 8 p.m. Eastern. Mark your calendar. It could be a good time. I think the rest of the month is going to be women, so that should make Atreus happy. Dream for the month. So this is going to be interesting. So this month's going to be fun, man. We started off with a banger. Alec was awesome to have. Great information provided to us, and like I said, guys, every day, Hypnocast, Sunday to Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. You already know how it goes. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep having the conversation out there. Keep supporting it. Talk about it on Twitter. Share it everywhere. The one thing they want is for you to be silent, and when you speak, it annoys the shit out of them. So keep speaking. That's basically all I can say. Subscribe to these guys on the panel. Their links are in the description box below. Alec, you're going to be doing content now, like fairly consistently, or what are you doing?
Yeah. I'm so it's the new channel called Real Aleksey Roots for Common Sense, which is basically a couple of times a week. I think it's gonna be Monday and Thursdays. One video recap for the week, one video for something useful for everyone about industry and development in general. Shorts daily, just fun stuff, interesting content, informing people. So that's the plan.
Cool.
See how it goes.
Well, have fun with that, and any help you need, we're more than happy to help you. All right, guys, we're done for the night. Thank you again for hanging out with us on episode 89, and we'll see you guys on episode 90. I'm going to leave you with obviously the outro, but of course, we got to do the bigot anthem, man. I made this shit. Fuck it.
My time has come. I'll choose my say my name when you pray to the skies. Seek out all the skies. With an old my protection, make them out of my will to the skies. Seek out all the skies. To the skies. Seek out all the skies. I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men. And I got news for you. That means you get. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Her dog, or her cat, was named Vagina.
Put a ticket in, make her gay. Fuck Indiana Jones, put a ticket in, make her lady gay. Fuck Baby J, put a ticket in, make her gay. It means put a chicken in a queenie and make her fucking gay. Fucking pronouns! Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day California shit! Cause that's all we fucking know! Cause we're boring! We're so fucking boring! Twitter hole! Twitter hole! Get it right!
At the touch of the black man, I bring life. I bring life. I bring life. I bring life. I bring life.